Good morning. Welcome into 104.5 The Zone. Not a great sports weekend for the state of Tennessee, unless you're the Vanderbilt Commodores. Well done by Vandy. They deserve all the praise. You know what was the most impressive win, or part of their win, Lucas and Robert, after defeating LSU on West End this weekend? Good morning, boys, by the way.
Good morning. Was it the form on Pavia's Heisman pose?
It was a part of that. It was more impressive to me, though, that Vanderbilt Commodore fans did not feel it necessary to rush the field after beating LSU. The ultimate disrespect.
Times are a-changing.
To LSU. The college football atmosphere has never been more fun, where Indiana and Vanderbilt and Virginia and all these different pieces and parts that have no business competing at the highest level of college football are now at least in the preliminary discussions of college football playoff aspirations. But that's the good. The rest of it was bad. Nashville SC lost 5-2 with Lionel Messi coming in here on decision day. Lucas was on the call for that one. Now they have their postseason series. It's a best of three.
It is, against Lionel Messi and Miami.
So not an ideal end to the regular season for them, but they will have the opportunity to acquit themselves in the postseason for the soccer club. Then you have Tennessee, who went down to Tuscaloosa on Saturday in a game that had a lot of hope around it for Vols fans. And Lucas, when we were out there waiting for Bert to smoke his cigarette this morning, you described it in, I think, the best possible way, because I looked at it and said, well, they choked. And you looked at it and said...
Well, let me be clear. They did choke, by definition.
Yeah.
They went down there and beat themselves in a very winnable game. That is almost the definition of choking. But we usually walk away from those road games at Alabama, at Georgia, in these recent years under Josh Heupel and say, all right, Heupel's done a good job. They're back to relevance. There's still that gap there. Didn't walk away saying that after this Alabama game or after the Georgia game a few weeks ago, but did walk away saying, man, they did a lot of things to beat themselves in a place and against a team where you simply can't afford to do that.
So that was a disappointing result. And then the expected result was yesterday at Nissan Stadium, where Mike Vrabel and the Patriots came in here and beat the Titans 31-13. Now, the most unexpected part of that was the way that the Titans started. They scored a first-quarter touchdown for the first time all year. While that is offensive in any other circumstance, it was, all right, how big a war criminal is Brian Callahan that the Titans look like this on offense in a quarter after having just fired their coach? Build the statue to Mike McCoy outside the new Nissan Stadium. Make him a lifetime head coach like Rick Barnes on Rocky Top, like all of the things.
He is a Mike M.
Yeah.
Feels like destiny.
Well,
vibes were great in the first half. They're going tempo. They're going pass heavy early. They're not running into walls on 1st and 10. Explosive plays. And then, right? And then they do the thing that they do. Well, and listen, L'Jarius Sneed, prior to his exit, was bad yesterday. He got beaten soundly on a pair of touchdowns. Drake May was also excellent. Like, it's not just the Titans. The Titans were not solely responsible for losing the game. They did not implode in the traditional sense, while there was some level of implosion. And really, you can be impressed with Cam Ward and the good that he did yesterday, while also being very disappointed by the bad, because the bad squarely took them out of any opportunity to win the football game, where, again, he just loses the football. He's untouched as he loses the football, and we'll talk about that later on, and Kayvon Chason is there to recover it in the end zone for a touchdown. All of a sudden, a 17-13 halftime lead for the Patriots within a matter of, it felt like 10 minutes. It's 31-13, and obviously the Titans offense didn't do anything after the fact. So that was the most expected result out of any of it. The way that it went, slightly unexpected, but still ending in the same way. Robert's the only one happy this weekend because the Ravens didn't play.
Yep, they had to beat off. They didn't even have to play nobody.
615.
Did they?
737-1045.
Oh boy, did they.
Is the number. If you want to get involved, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch is how you get in there as well. And the thing that the two of you are welcome to call me a hypocrite for and make fun of me for is the fact that I think the amount of Vrabel worship at Nissan Stadium yesterday was a bit weird. Now, I understand that I am a pro-Vrabel person. I think that he is a better coach than probably 80% of the coaches are out there. I think there's bad coaching everywhere in football. I thought the Vrabel worship yesterday at Nissan Stadium was weird.
Did you get anything to add to your Vrabel shrine? Perhaps a mustache hair, a gallon of his dip spit?
A play sheet.
So speaking of Vrabel worship, Kirby gave me a Buckeye to put on the podium for Mike Vrabel because half of Titans media went to the Mike Vrabel press conference and we're just like, yeah, I don't care about Mike.
Kirby's like, he'll know who it's from.
Literally, that's what he said.
Yeah, he'll crack the code.
And I said, I have the Buckeye. I did not put it on the podium. I thought that was a little much.
Oh, come on. Little much.
It was.
He would have known.
Yeah.
When is Mike ever going to see Kirby again? You don't even know what's in that Buckeye.
The combine. You'll see him at the combine.
No, you ruined it. You're just the worst. You're the kind of guy that in World War II, there's two guys in the foxhole just hunched up together, and he's like, hey, man, I'm not going to make it out of here. I need you to give this to my wife. And then you'd go over there and smooch her. You wouldn't even give her the locket. That's the kind of guy you are. Not the guy you want in your foxhole.
Number one, I think that you are saying you think the Vrabel worship was weird because you feel like you've stepped over a little too much in your obsession with Vrabel, and you're trying to balance it out a little bit. Number two,
maybe so.
You mentioned the Vrabel chant at the end of the game as if that was like legions of Titans fans. A lot of Patriots fans in the building too.
Mostly Patriots fans because after Cam Ward fumbled and Chason recovered in the end zone, most Titans fans left. So it was vast majority. I mean, again, the dark blue versus the light blue. I don't know what the balance of Patriots fans in attendance versus Titans fans who showed up for the game. I thought it was a better crowd than I expected, honestly. Again, not able to discern the split. It's not like all the Patriots fans were wearing red and all the Titans fans wearing blue. And listen, like I said, you are welcome to call me a hypocrite today because I do think that Mike Vrabel, they erred in the decisions that they made, and I think Mike Vrabel is a better coach than they are probably going to find moving forward. We'll see how the search goes. Obviously, they screwed up their hiring after the fact, but not even the chant. Because the chant I got, it's mostly Patriots fans. He won. They're excited for him. I told you before the show started, it was just weird watching Todd Downing and Tony Dews and Harold Landry and John Stryker and all these different people adorned in Patriots gear that we've seen for 6 years running the Tennessee Titans, jogging up the tunnel, wearing the Pats gear. But it was all the signs, all the pregame signs, because a lot of them were coming over to us. And people are lined up outside of Gate 3, not just Gate 3, but that's where me and Brent and Blaine are doing the pregame broadcast. There was a dude that was dressed up as Mike Vrabel in Titans gear with a sign that said, I'd cut my D off to get Mike Vrabel back as head coach. That was a little weird. It was, funny for a picture, but still weird. There was 2 Titans fans who were sitting in the front row at Nissan Stadium that the television cameras kept going over to with an AI-generated picture, 2 AI-generated pictures of Vrabel wearing a Titans hat, saying something to the effect of, on behalf of the Titans front office, we apologize, Mike. There was just a lot of it yesterday. So, and, some of it to be expected, but he does seem to have a weird cult following. I get that that I think he's a good coach, and we talk about that a lot, and you guys give me a hard time for it, but I guess I just didn't realize how many other people, how big the contingent of his fans versus Titans fans we're actually going to be at the game. Yes.
I mean, I think part of it is just naturally going to happen with how bad the Titans have been since his exit and how good of a track the Patriots seem to be on. He has 2 things that he did not have and probably was not going to have for quite some time here. That is a legitimate franchise quarterback. Drake May, MVP conversations.
He was awesome.
At this point.
He was awesome.
And an offensive coordinator that he didn't have to worry about bolting to take a head coaching job. So we'll see what the roster situation looks like with the amount of control Vrabel has there that he wanted here. We'll see because that's my biggest issue is the amount that's been glossed over, the amount that, has been eliminated from people's memories from the last 2 years of making Jason Hotailing his offensive line coach, right? Playing a part in bringing in Andre Dillard, playing a part in bringing in Will Levis to be this team's franchise quarterback. There's a lot that Vrabel did wrong and that the franchise did wrong, obviously. But, it's not terribly surprising to me, though, that Titans fans, they're just in a place right now where things are bad and things are good over there.
Protesting ownership.
Yeah, I think so.
Right? It's more about protesting ownership, or at least it's equal parts protesting ownership versus, I'm sure most of them do, that were, dressed up as Mike Vrabel or wearing or having Mike Vrabel signs, all these different things. Half of them probably genuinely want him back. The other half are like double middle fingers to Amy Adams-Strunk, who did do her whole pregame routine. There was not any interaction between her and the coach. I know that was going to be discussed. She did walk, the entire Titans ownership contingent did walk by Mike Vrabel as he was standing outside the Patriots locker room, high-fiving all of his players and coaches and support staff as they walked in. There was no interaction there. Obviously a bit icy. Not that you should expect anything otherwise. That situation didn't end well. But they got the job done. They spanked the Titans. They move on. Can I hear from Mike Vrabel, Robert? Because, like I said, basically Mike McCoy's press conference, it felt like, was delayed because none of us were in the room there to interview Mike McCoy. Mike Vrabel was the bigger story yesterday.
We moved on. Again, there's a lot of guys over there and a lot of people in the support staff that helped us through some decent things, but, you kind of move on, and this is a whole different challenge. And I'm excited of where I'm at, and I appreciate the support of our fans to come down here and be excited and be into the football game. And we got to continue to give them things to cheer about and to travel and to come back and play really well. So that's what I'm proud of them. I'm happy for these players. Have a little bit of momentum and to continue to build it throughout the week.
All right, so now the TMZ element of the Titans season is largely done, right? Like, you got through the all-toxic week, and now we can move on to, all right, how do they move forward? How do they continue to progress with Cam Ward? Because there were signs of progress yesterday, and then, I don't know, Lucas, if it's unfair of me to say that the fumble, when he does it in back-to-back weeks, when he's got an NFL leading, like among all ball carriers, he is leading the league with 5 lost fumbles. And yesterday it's returned for a touchdown. It does feel like it does undermine a lot of the good that he did yesterday when it directly contributes to the nail in the coffin.
Yes, it is a weird game to try and evaluate from Cam Ward because there was a lot of good. The good was really good. The bad was really bad. So it makes for interesting conversation.
615-737-1045. We will have that conversation. Ben Jones will be here. Brett Kern will be here, and we'll look forward to their analysis of the situation. We'll obviously talk to them about the young quarterback. You'll hear from Cam Ward today as well. We do have to talk more about Vandy and LSU. We do have to talk more about Vanderbilt's path to the college football playoff. We do have to talk more about the idea of Will Bowling wearing a Vanderbilt jersey. Should Vanderbilt make the college football playoff? Because that would be delightful for everyone. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is here to help you like they've helped so many other guys over the course of the last decade plus deal with erectile dysfunction because it can wreck your confidence, it can impact your relationship, your mental health, and your sense of identity. But the good news is the Tennessee Men's Clinic is here to help, and they aren't cookie-cutter solutions that they offer. They are a urology-based and staffed with multiple licensed providers who specialize in men's sexual health. They use proven treatments tailored to your specific situation. No one size fits all. Too many guys rely on pills that don't work or come with nasty side effects. There are better treatment paths. Sometimes it's a combination of those treatments that finally unlock the results that you've been missing. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes a full medical consultation, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose right there in the office. So call them today at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090 or book easily online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you want to get involved, the question to the audience is this: how would you evaluate Mike McCoy's first game as the interim head coach? It did start, obviously, better than it finished, and their fourth quarter struggles continue to be a talking point all throughout the course of the season. But they did come out with good pace yesterday. They did come out with a more efficient version of Cam Ward. I mean, Lucas, they scored points on their first two possessions, which is not something that we're it's not normal. It's weird to see. You know, I know the first drive was a field goal. The second drive was a beautiful touchdown throw to Chimere Dike, who had obviously a career best game with 4 catches on 4 targets and a 38-yard receiving touchdown from Cam Ward. Also, I mean, he had damn near 85 yards, all-purpose yards on that drive alone because he had the big return to set him up. Then he had the touchdown reception. He had 3 other catches on the day as well.
DK just quietly, man, is racking up a lot of yardage. All-purpose, 169 yesterday. He now has over 1,000 all-purpose yards through 7 games. It leads the league, and he joins Derek Mason and Derrick Henry as the only players in the Titans era to reach 1K combined yards in the first 7 games. Like, it's pretty good company.
That's crazy.
The only other rookies that have done it in that span in the league are Adrian Peterson, Percy Harvin, and Kareem Hunt. So, yes, nice day, nice little breakout day in the receiving game for DK. Cam completed 10 of his first 11 passes.
Yep.
His first 6 completions were to fellow rookies, spread out. Gunnar Helm here, Chimere Dike there, Alec Iomanner sprinkled in. They started hot. They started with some tempo. They started airing it out, kind of spreading out the Pats defense, which has been good this year, but has given up a lot of chunk plays all season.
He had 4 completions of 11 yards or more on those 2 drives where they came away with points. Now, they ended up having 1 more field goal drive in the game in the first half, and then they were held without points in the entirety of the second half, and we understand that there were a couple of reasons for that. We also understand that the defense was objectively bad yesterday. Like, even before Jeff Simmons and L'Jarius Sneed gets hurt, I'm not going to, I'm no fool to act like Jeff Simmons being in the game isn't a reason why the game got broken open more than it did. But this is the worst rushing team in football, rushing offense team in football that came in here yesterday. And Ramondre Stevenson very quickly got into triple digits, had a rushing touchdown. They were just getting gashed early on. I mean, I think.
He didn't get into triple digits, but. The
Patriots got into triple digits.
175 rush yards on the day.
So nearly 200 yards of rushing offense for the team that was the 32nd ranked rushing offense in terms of DVOA, the efficiency metric that we judge a lot of these things by.
And a lot of that, 62 of those yards, was Drake May just ripping off plays in the run game.
Drake May was excellent yesterday. I don't know what you lose that game if Drake May plays that way, no matter how the game plays out, no matter how good or bad Cam Ward plays, no matter what you get on special teams or defense or otherwise. Like, if Drake May sets a completion percentage record for a franchise that had Tom Brady for damn near 2 decades.
21 of 23.
He was awesome yesterday. Like, there was just nothing. And we understand, Titans don't have a pass rush. They didn't have a pass rush before all their pass rushers got hurt. God knows they didn't have a pass rush yesterday.
Well, you know what's ironic is they had their best day sacking the quarterback all season at 4 sacks.
Yeah.
They haven't done that yet this year.
The Xavier Woods sack was, whatever. But like Jihad Ward.
First drive of the game for the Patriots, held him to a field goal. Draymond Jones got himself one. T'Vondre Sweat played well coming back from injury. But, yeah, man, this defense is hampered enough as it is. Like, you come into this game without Arden Key. You come into this game just barely getting back T'Vondre Sweat without Femi Oladejo, and to lose Jeff and to lose Sneed. I mean, I feel for Denard Wilson this season.
Okay.
I feel like Denard Wilson has done a good job with what he has at his disposal this season. And it didn't look good yesterday.
It was bad yesterday.
It was bad. And the run defense was really bad yesterday. So, yes, there is criticism there. But, again, look at who's on the field or who's not on the field for a defense that already was not necessarily.
Doesn't have that much to work with.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot to work with up front.
So, Sneed, a quad injury again, by the way. Worth noting, is what ruled him out yesterday. The nebulous quad that cost him all but 5 games of 2024. I don't know that it's a reoccurrence of the quad injury. Mike McCoy speaks at 1:30 today, so perhaps there will be some level of update on Sneed's quad injury. Is it a reoccurrence? Is it a new quad injury? Either way, he was burnt toast before he got hurt. You know, I mean, did you see what Keishon Butte said yesterday? Did you see that Mass Live article? I sent it to the group.
Oh yeah, I saw I have not read the article.
Let's get to it here in just a second. Let's start with Mike McCoy and the Mike McCoy evaluation. As you talk about why Brian Callahan was fired and the reasons why they made the move at the time that they did. So let's start with Mike McCoy in-game operation. What grade would we give Mike McCoy for in-game operation? Everything from, he didn't have a challenge opportunity yesterday. There was an end of half situation that was very perplexing with 3 timeouts and 50 seconds left on the clock. And what did you have to go? 30 yards, 35 yards to get into Joey Sly's range with the wind at his back? That was a confusing scenario there. You did have a fast start on offense. You did have the first quarter touchdown scored by the Titans in the entire season through 7 games. You did have, I would argue that despite the mistakes, and Cam Ward was not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I would argue that it was the most well-rounded Cam Ward performance that we've got to this point in the season. Again, there were still some glaring errors that he made. He wasn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination. How would we evaluate Mike McCoy? I'm willing to give him a C-.
The only real issue I had from a game management perspective was the end of half sequence.
It was very bizarre.
Yeah, 49 seconds, 3 timeouts, kind of a quick run to Tajay Spears, and then from there, it's clear that they're just content to take it to halftime. Other than that,
and they were trailing by 4 in the half at that point. It was 17-13. You were very much in the game, and the offense looked like it was going to be able to put up a fight. Now, it obviously didn't down the stretch, and the defense gave up a touchdown as soon as they got back out on the field to widen the margin to 24-13 right out of half. Can I hear from Mike McCoy on the end of the first half scenario? Because obviously that was something he was pressed on yesterday.
You had 3 timeouts. You had a chance maybe to get in position. Joey Slides kicking the ball. But what happened there?
Well, with the wind conditions, it was howling. That was the tough way to go, the tough direction. Even our last series or the series before that on offense, if you could hear the conversations that were going on there, just because the way the wind was blowing, it was changing, things like that. So I think Bones did a great job of communicating with me all game long where the start point needs to be to even attempt it. And so that came into consideration of where we were going, the score of the game, how we're doing it. Don't give them another opportunity. There's a number of things that come up, but the win was definitely a consideration of, it's not like, normally if like you're playing inside, there's not any issues, weather issues or like that. You say, okay, you get the ball, you get to the 50, you can bomb at certain things, but there was no way at that point in time during the game that we'd be able to do that.
Slide did hit a 50-yarder into that same win. A little bit. Did something change between that?
We were doing what we thought was best, like we will every game. That's what we're always going to do. Situation of the game, score of the game, how are we playing on both sides of the ball? So there's a number of factors. It's not just hey, okay, he's made this one. So it's just, we're going to always think about, okay, situationally, what is the best thing for our football team on that game day?
All right, so that didn't make sense to me, the way that he followed it up. Because Teron was right to immediately follow up his own question with, but you did make a field goal in that situation against the wind. And the wind was crazy yesterday. Like the weather pregame, when we were doing the Lee Company countdown to kickoff, the wind was going sideways. The rain was going sideways. The wind was, to Mike McCoy's point, howling. It continued basically all day at Nissan Stadium. And so we understood that was going to be a factor in their decision-making, but I didn't understand the follow-up explanation to Teron's follow-up question.
Yeah, I agree. That's the one area of the game from a coaching standpoint, a head coaching standpoint, that you were kind of scratching your head. Otherwise,
it's fine.
We understand they were, Calvin Ridley's out in this game, right? They were not able to run the football in this game at all.
Yeah.
The Titans had 39 rush yards in this game. They did do some of the things that we've been hearing, but we have not been seeing in games, right? Going a little bit faster, evening the carries out a little more between Spears and Pollard. They weren't able to run the ball, but it was fairly even. Pollard had 6, Spears had 5. But shut out in the second half. So they still just have not been able to I'd say that's their best first half performance of the season.
Oh, yeah. By it's not even arguable.
Well, it's either this or the Rams game where Cam had the crazy circus touchdown to Io Manor and they're in the game at halftime.
Yeah, but that's like, okay, go out there and make a play. He's running around. Like this looked like he was operating
it looked like
within
an operation.
The offense.
Exactly.
That was why I felt that it was his best performance, the best first half that the offense has played all year long. So this was the scenario for the Titans, trailing 17-13. They get the ball at their own 35. They run Tajay Spears up the middle for 3. Cam Ward then hits Van Jefferson for a 4-yard gain. There's another incompletion to Spears. Ward incomplete to the deep right side of the field. And that was the 4th and 3 throwaway where he just threw it away at the end of the game. It was very confusing. So they had 1st and 10 from their own 35. They came away with no points despite having 3 timeouts. They took all 3 timeouts in with them to the half. It was confusing.
Just haven't been able to put a 4-quarter game together all season.
Well, yeah, I would say that there's 2 games where they've even put together a half. I guess the Rams game, I'm willing to hear you on. 3 games out of the 7 that they've played so far. Then there is the indictment of the Titans secondary yesterday, which is worth talking about because this is the second time, Lucas, and I understand the idea of, well, it's easy to say, it's kind of like Diana, where she was on here with us last week and she made the comment, which I think I completely agree with, and I'm guilty of this sometimes too, where it's easy to be tough in the media when the team is bad. I think it's easy to talk about an opponent after you've beaten them soundly the way that the Colts did earlier in the season and the way that the Patriots did yesterday. But this is the latest example where people are calling out effort of the Titans team. So Mark Daniels, who writes for MassLive.com, had a quote from wide receiver Kayshon Boutte, who obviously had a good game yesterday, caught a touchdown pass over L'Jarius Sneed, as did Titans legend Austin Hooper. Haven't heard that name in quite some time. Hell of a catch by Hooper, by the way.
It was.
So, Kayshon Boutte is having a decent season. Drake May seems to be bringing the best out of some of the lesser skill position players that the Patriots have, and it was a 21-yard touchdown pass 21-yard touchdown pass for Boutte in New Orleans, and then obviously had a 39-yard touchdown pass yesterday against the Titans. This was the quote from Boutte in the locker room after the fact. It felt good, something we worked on all week, that big throw, that big catch. We took advantage of lazy cornerback play, lazy safety play, and it was just a big play as a result. There's not too many opportunities like that where it's just wide open, you and the ball. It's one of those plays you've got to make. You don't want to come back after the game and be like, damn, I should have had that. And the 2 players that he ran by were L'Jarius Sneed and Quandre Diggs.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to handle this situation where you've got Michael Pittman after the Colts game saying, yeah, they came out with no juice. We knew we had them as soon as they stepped out on the field. Nate Washington has also talked about that with us, and most recently yesterday. I thought Blaine had a good counter to Nate's point and the Mike Silver article about criticizing J.C. Latham's effort, just saying, it's tough for Jeff Simmons to even put J.C. Latham in that spot first week back of practice from injury. He's obviously still working his way back from injury. For the leader on the team to come up and be like, hey, you're not giving us enough when his hip's probably not still feeling great. It's a tough spot to put J.C. Latham in. I'm not equipped, me personally, to judge effort from players unless it's like clear and obvious that they're just dogging it out there.
And at no point has that conversation ever been had about J.C. Latham. The whole thing about him in the offseason was how he changed his body to be better equipped in year 2 of his NFL career.
So that 2 different instances where opponents have beaten the Titans and said something about their effort or their energy after the game, is that enough to assign a trend to? Also a former player in Nate Washington, also the Nate Silver article about Jeff and JC. What do we do with that? I genuinely don't know what to do with that other than to note it and to ask players about it after the fact. I asked Nick Holtz about J.C. Latham's effort leading up to the game last week. He said they were very happy with it. So, I mean, I can't, I'm not going to call him a liar in that situation. There seem to be conflicting sides of these things, and a lot of it's coming from players.
Yeah, I don't think at any point, me with my uneducated eye I don't think I've looked at any stretch of a Titans game and just said, all right, they don't want to be out there. Like you hear players say it after games, and to your point, it is a lot easier to say it after a win, after a dominant win. Be like Jeremy Bernard, the Bama receiver. Say it before the game and then be proven right during the game. Did you see what he said about
No, I missed that.
Tennessee's defense? He was on the next round down in Alabama, a digital show down there, and said that the Tennessee defense will be a field of dreams for Alabama's offense going up man-to-man against that secondary. How they give you a lot of yards and, basically saying Tennessee's defense is vulnerable. And he was proven right. There was 1 3rd and long where he broke about 7 Tennessee tackles to get to a big 3rd down on their 99-yard touchdown drive, but I digress. Definitely easier to say it after the game.
Sure. So there is that. Now, I think that the circumstance for J.C. Latham specifically in game, and he was not good again yesterday, right? It's tough where Oli Udoh has looked like the better of the 2 right tackles through now extended. It's 3 games for J.C., 2.5 games, I guess, if you want to count the way that he went out in Denver, where Oli Udoh looks, at least in the sample size that we have of the 2 of them, Udoh has looked like the better player. Because New England does not have any. I mean, Harold Landry was on a bad ankle yesterday, and Harold Landry was not a game wrecker yesterday. Patriots pass rush.
Picked up a sack.
Got home. They had, 4 sacks, I believe?
Each team had 4.
4 sacks yesterday for the Patriots, and the Patriots do not get to the quarterback well so far this season. Harold Landry came in to the game leading the team in sacks with 4.5.
Yep, up to 5.5 now, 7 games in.
But some of that's Cam. Like the holding the football too long results in some of these sacks. This is why I do think it's fair to have a conversation about Cam Ward criticism where he is making plays that directly impact their ability to win the game.
Well, of course it's fair to have the conversation.
We will later in the show.
Yeah, obviously. Of course it is. Like, it's one thing to say, we got to have a conversation. We got to talk more about what this quarterback is doing.
Yeah.
Because the easy thing to do is say, he'll be fine. He's a rookie. Just evaluate the good stuff and dismiss the bad stuff. It's a whole other thing to say, Cam Ward's a bust. It's not going to happen. Like,
nobody's
doing that. Right. But that's what I'm saying. Like, for people to get worked up by saying, hey, we got to have a conversation about how the quarterback is playing is a little ridiculous. Like, we're not saying that he's a bust. It's not going to work. They need to draft a quarterback with a high draft pick. That would be a crazy thing to say.
Well,
7 games into a rookie year.
I understand the heightened sensitivity, though, Lucas, like from Titans fans. And he's not immune from criticism. He has a tougher standard for himself than it seems many of the fan base or many people in the fan base do. I'm sure Cam Ward would also acknowledge, it doesn't matter how well I played, if I fumbled the football, if I threw an interception, if I held the ball too long and took sacks, like all the mistakes that he continues to make, right? The whole thing is about, can you remove yourself from making the same mistakes? These are common themes dating back to his career in college. It is worth having that version of the conversation. And maybe because I have bad tone anyway, and I put it out on Twitter. Are y'all ready to have a Cam Ward conversation or not? Yesterday, there's a lot of sensitivity on Twitter from people about that. Nobody called the guy a bust. I just think it's worth having a conversation about it. I also, in that same vein, understand that Titans fans are going to be hyper defensive about Cam Ward, that he is the one thing that they have to attach any sign of hope to right now with this franchise, especially with Jeff Simmons going out when the offense just starts to get rolling. Like, I'm not mad at Titans fans for sticking up for their guy. I do think it's worth having a conversation about the things that are becoming trends.
Just this need to go to the extreme for folks, right? Either he's a bust 7 games in, or no, he's our savior. You can't say anything bad about the rookie quarterback. He's helpless. Look at him out there. He's not in a good position. Like, it's somewhere in the middle. He's a rookie quarterback struggling on a bad team. He's not good enough right now to lift this team above more talented NFL teams. Like, that is a fact right now. He's also shown a ton of flashes and has every mindset that you could possibly want from your rookie quarterback, from a maturity standpoint, from just how he handles himself, a leadership standpoint. Not that it's perfect, right? Like, he, I'm sure, learned a lot from the "we asked" comments with Warren Moon calling him and his head coach and his team's leader talking to him about it. But my goodness, it's just this instinct to go to the extreme on everything. Either he's a bust or he's a savior. He's what Dan Orlovsky is saying is unbelievable.
But Dan, like, and listen, I don't have to qualify it by saying I have great respect for Dan Orlovsky, but like that's also a part of the problem online too. Like the discourse has been hijacked by people like Kurt Benkert. Robert, we've brought this up before. I'm sorry. I don't blame Cam Ward letting the ball just fall out of his hands as Chason recovers it in the end zone on Lloyd Cushenberry's swamp ass. Like, come on.
Wait, what are you talking about?
Kurt Benkert on Twitter said, in my experience, you can one of you find the tweet for me? It was him talking about, and maybe it was meant tongue in cheek. I don't know. But Kurt Benkert, who is a former Green Bay Packers quarterback, now doing film analysis online, said in his experience it was either the center's swamp ass on why the ball just slipped out of Cam Ward's hands again for the second straight week, or that they're not properly tacking the ball as an equipment staff correctly for the quarterback. Like, I'm sorry, that's just nonsense. That is completely hijacked the discourse online, and I'm sick of that.
Now, at this point, it's back-to-back weeks where it's happened. So I don't know how or why it's happening, but it is something that needs to be figured out.
That's just lame. Come on. Yeah. Do better. Like, the former quarterbacks doing analysis online also have their biases, too. And I think it's important to keep that in mind, even if you respect their football acumen, and you should. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you would like to weigh in on this conversation, we will return to the Titans conversation, the Cam Ward conversation, when Ben Jones joins us at 11. In the meantime, we have to talk about the way the Vols choked against Bama. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. So, we'll get back to the Titans conversation here in just a second. Ben Jones will be in studio in 13 minutes from now. We'll look forward to that. Apparently, he's bringing his assistant. So, we have additional insights and analysis to weigh in on the Titans' loss yesterday.
Did you ask their assistant to bring snacks?
I'm sure the snacks are there, but I believe the snacks are for the assistant, not for the assistants to the assistant.
I could offer some assistance.
This is the type of situation where I think Ben Jones gets snacks for his assistant,
Correct.
Not the other way around.
Yes, I would say that that's probably who really works for whom in this situation. Yes. We'll find out again when Ben Jones joins us. We will get to the good this weekend because there was really only one good result because even Memphis lost this weekend, right? Memphis no longer undefeated.
Big upset.
Yeah.
Trent Dilfer fired on the way out, and Alex Mortensen, the interim coach, wins that game. Chris Mortensen's son. Mm-hmm. So that was a cool moment, I'm sure, for a lot of people that knew and were close to Mort. But the Battle of the Bones, that's what that trophy is. It's literally just a big stack of ribs on a trophy.
Say it again.
Battle of the Bones.
It sounds like a Game of Thrones episode.
It does sound like a Game of Thrones.
All right, one more time.
Battle of the Bones.
It's getting more sensual every time.
It's one of the coolest trophies in college football.
Kind of like when you kept making him say cribby on the air last week when talking about the chicken. It was very disturbing.
God, the chicken was cribby.
God. What was not cribby, I don't know how else to do that, is Tennessee's loss to Alabama because they choked away an opportunity that was very much gettable. Lucas made the point to start the show that usually you resign yourself to the idea that Alabama and Tennessee just have a gulf between them right now where Bama, you keep it close for a period of time. Bama eventually pulls away because the talent is greater, the coaching is greater, all these different things. But that wasn't the case on Saturday night in Tuscaloosa. So,
at least on the road. I mean, that's been more of a conversation for the Georgia series where Tennessee has not won in the Heupel era. Obviously, they've beaten Bama in the last couple of home games they've had against Bama. But that's what this rivalry is kind of down to. It seems like home team always wins.
For Alabama, though, it is the fourth straight win against a ranked opponent. So that is no small thing for Kalen DeBoer. I guess what is the biggest issue that you had with Tennessee's performance? Because a lot of people setting up, speaking of end-of-half situations, Tennessee had the opportunity on the goal line to score a touchdown. Then the quarterback throws the interception, the pick six, because they come out in a run formation look. Greg McElroy is saying, surely they're not going to run the ball in this situation because they're out of timeouts. Obviously, we all understood this. Josh Heupel clearly understood that. So they fake the run. They try to throw a pass, and quarterback gets picked off en route for points for Bama, and that is how Bama heads into the half with a greater lead than they previously had. Did you disagree with the play call, or was it just bad, an unfortunate timed situation where the DB just makes a good play?
I thought there haven't been many situations where Josh Heupel's play calling has been in any major question. Like, that doesn't happen very often with Vols fans. But for me, this is one of the biggest mistakes Heupel's made in his tenure.
Oh, really?
I thought it was a dreadful play call. Okay. I agreed with McElroy. It's like, number one, okay, who are you really fooling? Like, if you're Alabama, sure, okay, I guess there's a possibility they could run the football and just say, nope, we're going on our big guys against your big guys, and we think we can punch this in, understanding that if we don't, the half's over and we get no points. But they're also going to be guarded against something like a play-action pass. And it was a bad throw by Aguilar, make no mistake. Like, you got to put that in a place where either your tight end is making a play on it or it's incomplete and you're kicking the field goal or maybe having the discussion of going for it on the last play of the half. But if you're going to throw the football there, draw something up with a higher percentage pass, right? Like, throw something up for Brazel. Spread the field out a little bit more. I did not.
Okay.
The moment Aguilar pulled that handoff, it was, oh, no. And obviously it's a poor throw. And Deshaun Bishop, too, that close to catching him on the run back in what obviously would have been a huge play. It would have taken 7 points off the board into halftime. But that's a huge swing. A huge swing. That's either a 10 or 14-point swing, depending on if Tennessee would have scored there or kicked a field goal there. If not for that play, the second half, which at several points was a 17-point deficit, would be a 3-point deficit.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been a one-score game pretty much the entirety of the second half had that not happened. Worst case scenario. And Tennessee, to their credit, fought back, right? They punched back. They had a chance to make it a one-score game after Ty Simpson fumbled the football. Couldn't take advantage. But miscues, ill-timed penalties, horrible tackling in this game. I mean, awful in the second half. Unable to affect the quarterback like you have been all season long against this Alabama offensive line, and just drops at untimely spots, just shooting yourself in the foot over and over and over, just giving yourself no chance to win this game.
It's too bad because that game, I mean, you probably come away from that game as frustrated as you have any performance this season, probably more frustrated than you have been at any point this season, because it was right there for you to at least, and again, no moral victories, no participation trophy type conversations, and maybe Bama still ends up winning the game at the end of the day, but the fact that you actively detonated yourself in a couple of critical moments, in particular on defense. I mean, Tim Banks can't make tackles for them.
This was brutal, man. But
it was really bad.
There was a lot of situational stuff, though, where there's third and shorts where the defensive backs are, 12 yards off the receiver. I mean, you're just handing them conversion after conversion. It reminds me of that Titan season in 2020. Remember when we were talking about this all year? Oh. Was it Jonathan Josephs, right? That just how off they were playing in their coverage.
Beasley, Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah, that's what it's felt like this year for Tennessee. And look, they're down their top two corners. You knew you were going to be without Jermon McCoy for some time. You didn't account for Ricky Gibson also going down in week 1 for what seems to be a season-ending injury. But they weren't even able to lean on their pass rush in this game. And, the most damning example of this was Alabama. So Tennessee forces that fumble. They have the football, down 10, a chance to go. Even if you get a field goal, you can make it a one-score game. And you're unable to do it. You've got an RPO where it looked like Joey Aguilar made the wrong read. Josh Heupel certainly had a reaction that made you think that. You have a snap that Aguilar wasn't ready for. He's trying to check out of a play, and then the snap goes off of him unexpectedly, has to fall on it. And just like that, you're in third and forever. And even still, you drop a pass that could have put you in a position to attempt a field goal on that third and long. But you get a good punt off. You pin Bama back at their own 1 and think, okay, can you just get it back? And they march on a 99-yard drive. And they convert a 3rd and 13 where Jeremy Bernard catches a screen well behind the line of scrimmage, is swarmed by Tennessee tacklers, and nobody can get him down.
Yeah.
He sheds 5 or 6 tackles on his way to a first down. At that point, you thought, this game's over. To be honest, you were probably saying that on the pick 6 at the end of half. But again, Tennessee fought back into it. But then you said, no, you're not bouncing back from this.
And there were a couple of reviews, obviously, that didn't go the Vols' way, that felt like there was momentum building against their ability to pull themselves out of it. But again, the self-inflicted wounds, sins for football teams in the state of Tennessee, a theme so far in the season. Far more Titans sins than Vols sins, but Saturday was tough.
And let me say this, the Georgia loss hurts worse today than it did at the end of that Georgia game. Because at the end of the Georgia game,
you came away.
Yes, it hurt.
Good.
It was a gut punch, but you thought, okay, this is a playoff
back
team.
In the mix.
Yeah, Joey Aguilar, that kind of performance, the best you have played Georgia in the Heupel era. Yes, it hurt, but you came away thinking, no, we've got something here. But this one makes that missed field goal by Max Gilbert hurt even more, because now you're saying you've got no room for error. You got to go undefeated the rest of the way to get into the playoff. And you could have been in a spot where you could afford another loss.
We can talk about some college football and some Titans football with Ben Jones, who will join us in studio coming up next. Well, there will be no Brian Callahan show because that man got fired. But what I can tell you is that there can be financial assistance there for you to help you regain or claim for the first time if you have not yet achieved your financial independence. That is courtesy of Trajan Wealth and all the different tools that they can use to put you in position to succeed. Because unlike the changing leaves of fall, money does not grow on trees. That's why you give Trajan Wealth a call today to ensure you're making the right financial moves for your future. They can help you work your way through all manner of different options, whether it's wealth management strategies or retirement planning or tactical investments that will help you maximize your return on those investments. Because it's one thing to save for retirement, but it's another to feel ready for it. Trajan Wealth will help you build a real plan with less guesswork and more peace of mind. They will explain everything, give you the necessary options, and never once try to sell you something that you don't need. Trajan Wealth will give you that clear path forward. So call them today at 615-270-5000. That's 615-270-5000, or visit them online at TrajanWealth.com. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. This is a paid advertisement.
11:02, good morning from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Titans started hot, but the Patriots responded with a 21-point run to win 31-13 at Nissan Stadium on Sunday. The Titans fall to 1-6 on the season. Cam Ward, 25 of 34 for 255 with a touchdown, an interception, and a fumble. Interim head coach Mike McCoy meets with the media today, coming up at 1:30. College football, Tennessee's self-inflicted mistakes cost them in Tuscaloosa in a 37-20 loss. The Vols dropped their second loss of the season, and they are down to number 17 in the AP poll. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt is 6-1, wearing down number 10 LSU in a 31-24 win at First Bank Stadium, and the Commodores are up to number 10 in the AP poll. First time in the top 10 since the 40s. College game day is headed to West End this weekend. Vanderbilt hosting Missouri in a top 15 matchup. Nashville Soccer Club is headed to the MLS Cup playoffs. They are matched up with Lionel Messi and Inter Miami in the first round. Best of 3 series. Game 1 in Miami is this Friday. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second hour is upon us, which means Ben Jones is in studio on a Monday, and our guest has brought a guest. Benjamin, it's good to see you. Hope you enjoyed fall break in the beach.
It was great, man. Happy to be back, but it was a good getaway.
Well, I'm sure many people are looking to get away at this point in the season. Not an ideal circumstance for the Titans yesterday at Nissan Stadium, but obviously you don't cancel things when the football gets bad, and the football wasn't awful for at least a half yesterday, which is the place that we will start before we talk about the way that things started to fall apart. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to participate. You can ask Ben Jones a question. We also have the F&M Bank chat open for business, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. So I want to talk to you about what you saw from them in the first quarter, and you might flesh that out to the first half on offense, where they make a coaching change since the last time we've seen you, Benjamin. And Mike McCoy is giving quotes about simplifying the offense and making things more turnkey, the way that you've talked about and many others have talked about for the rookie quarterback. What changes did you see based on what we've seen Cam Ward asked to do versus what Cam Ward was able to do yesterday?
Yeah, that's what we were asking. We wanted them to play with some tempo, put him in good situations, try to run the ball, take some shots early on, get him some easy completions, and that's what they did. They came out, they get a first down, you go fast. When you go fast right there after a first down, the defense simplifies. They either go to cover 2, cover 4. They have their base calls when the team goes fast. So you know what you're going to get right there. You go fast, he makes a big completion down there to DK, and you have success with it. Then kind of just fizzled out in the second half, some turnovers, and we couldn't protect him and some short yardage issues. So second half was rough. But first half, it was good. Like, that's what we wanted. Like, hey, you had some simple runs. You had some simple play actions that married with it. It's not like, hey, we're going to run a million different run plays so you can't marry the pass to it. It looked good. The runs, the play actions, they married each other, and they were successful. We got to do more of it. We got to be and you're in games. Like, you're right there in it. So first half is promising.
What do you make of the Cam Ward just losing the football play that's happened in the last 2 weeks? And before you answer that, I don't know if you heard us talking about this on you and Caden's way in, but as a former center, I feel like we have to get your opinion on this because some blame is getting pushed around here. Kurt Benkert, former NFL quarterback, does a lot of film study content.
Tweeted. The tweet in front
Here's
of you?
the tweet.
Yeah.
And I will censor it. I don't know what's going on.
She's got headphones on. It's fine.
Earmuff situation.
She's good.
I don't know what's going on with Cam Ward and the fumbles on the windup, but from my experience, it's either swampy bleep sweat by the center, or they aren't prepping the football to be as tacky as other places do. So either sweat from Lloyd Cushenberry or a certain way the Titans
butt sweat
are prepping. Yeah, there you go. Are prepping the football. What do you make of that?
Shotgun snap, the ball don't touch her butt. So how's that gonna be an issue?
It was a shotgun. Is he saying that? Maybe he's saying from a previous play. It feels like a reach, Ben.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of
What
this.
was the temperature yesterday?
It was a
nice and cool.
balmy 62 degrees.
Yeah. So
Wind blowing.
don't blame a guy, Lloyd. Worst case scenario, yes, you have some sweaty games. It's hot. Your hands are dripping with sweat. Yes, that happens. You know what the quarterback says? Hey, let's put a towel down your pants. Let's get the sweat away. Hey, ball boys, let's get balls in and out. You're used to it. You did camp all season when it's hot and sweaty. That's not an issue. It's not raining. It rained earlier. Should be good. Honestly, he probably took his eye off the ball when he's looking downfield trying to make a play. That happens. Like he's trying to see the whole defense, and he takes his eye off at the last second. It happens sometimes. He just got him, hey, now I got to make sure I catch this ball and see it down the field.
Have you ever seen a quarterback have that specific issue? We didn't see it in training camp, right?
Well, Kenny Pickett with the baby hands, but like Cameron's got normal-sized hands. Like 9-inch hands are fine.
Right. Like it's just not you've seen quarterbacks have turnover issues and maybe one thing specific, but this specifically, back-to-back weeks now, just is unique.
And 5 total lost fumbles on the season.
Yeah, you don't want to see these. They're snowballing, and everybody's eyes is on it, and he's trying to read the defense. He's trying to look downfield to make plays and see what they're bringing. They're disguising coverages, but you got to do the basics first. Yeah, you got to catch the snap, then you see the defense. Everything works in process. Everything just needs to slow down a little bit for him. He's trying to make the big plays. He was pressing right there. The Patriots just went down and took a lead, so he's trying to go out there and make some plays for him. Yes, they're fixable. Like, it's not like the end of the world. Like, yes, you're going to have some – that's one of your rookie mistakes. Like we talk about, like, dang, come on, don't make that. You can't keep doing this week in and week out. We're putting a lot on his plate, but, yeah, it happens, and you don't want to see it happen again. Like, hey, it's something you can clean up, and let's not have this show up again.
Yeah, it's the situations that make it a little more visceral, right, Ben? Yeah. Because it's 1st and 10. He's on his own 23. The defense is just allowed a touchdown because they let the Patriots come back on the field. Patriots start the second half with the ball, march right down the field, and score a touchdown. We can talk about the defense here in just a little bit. But he fakes that handoff to his right, then he starts to roll to his left, and all of a sudden, I guess that may be the point where his eyes are caught downfield, where he starts to like do this weird backpedal thing. All of a sudden, Caleb on Chaison's in his lap, and the ball just flies out backwards for the defense to recover in the end zone. So it's simply a matter of losing control of the football, and also given the fact that they were already going to have to battle a little bit to stay in it on offense, and that just blew the thing open.
Yeah, that was definitely a thing that put the dagger in it. You don't want to have a turnover that turns into a touchdown that just really sets you back and kind of kills the momentum. That was going to be a big drive for them. They need to go down there and get points in some way, and that right there just hurt. It was a dagger.
What did you see from the Patriots on defense? Because you mentioned the protection also broke down in the second half, and that was something that they were doing pretty well to start the game. Was there something specific that the Patriots were doing to cause the protection breakdown? Also, the idea that Cam is still compounding things with holding the ball too long.
Yeah, when you can't run the ball in the second half, you kind of get away from it, and halftime they're probably saying, like, hey, let's let them run the ball. We're going to attack the quarterback. No, they're going to have to take shots. So play actions, they're not really selling out on the run. They're rushing the quarterback even on 1st and 2nd down because you're behind. So you got to make sure you set your O-line up for success. You know you're not really going to get a run cell anymore, and that's happens when you're behind. Everything goes fine. Everything's got to happen faster. Everybody's got to be better in protection. When you get behind in the game, it's a struggle.
Ben Jones, former Titans center, in studio with us, as is the custom on a Monday, talking about the Titans. We'll get to a little college football with Ben here in just a minute.
You've been in an interim coach situation that changed midseason, right? Gary Kubiak fired 2013 in Houston. Wade Phillips takes over as the interim head coach. Can you just take us behind all the different moving parts that maybe most people aren't privy to in terms of the voices that are changing, any other staff changes? How much is going on in that week while you're trying to prepare for a football game?
Yeah, it's a lot. Everybody's trying to figure out their new role. Like, all right, who's taking over the play calling? Who's doing this? Who's on the – because when Gary Kubiak, he was our play caller. He was the head coach. He was kind of like Callahan was. He was the guy. He took over. So Wade stepped in and was kind of still calling the defense, kind of being the head coach. Then we're like, all right, we got a new first-time play caller. So we were trying to figure that out with Rico Dennison. So – it is a change. Like, that play caller's got to step up. You got a new guy making the shots. You got a new guy inducting every team meeting. So it is a different atmosphere, different thing. So it is a change, and I'm excited for this aspect. I think he did a good job. Like, hey, he put in his presence, like, hey, we're going to do a different start. Now we just got to transition to the second half.
615-737-1045 is how you get involved. I want to talk to you about the Georgia game here in the next segment. And
That was wild.
That sigh alone tells you it's going to be a conversation worth sticking around for. We can also get into some more conversations about working with a young quarterback as we talk to former Titan center Ben Jones in studio with us. I'm Buck Rising, 1045 The Zone. All your favorite NBA players are back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is the place to bet on NBA stars this season. With more markets open for more of the game, DraftKings, the #1 sportsbook for live betting, is live when others aren't. New customers bet just $5 and get 3 months of NBA League Pass. Plus, score $300 if your bet wins. Paid in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THEZONE. That's code, one word, THEZONE. Bet $5 and get 3 months of League Pass, plus get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. 21 plus, Tennessee only. Eligibility and restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. NBA League Pass auto renews until canceled. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Ben Jones is here. We have agreed college football discussion the rest of the way. We can circle back to the Titans a little later on the heels of their 31-13 defeat to the New England Patriots yesterday. So take me through the emotions of you watching Georgia and Ole Miss, because there's a period of time where it looks like Ole Miss is in control of the football game. And then all of a sudden, Gunnar Stockton leads a rally, gets them back in the game. Lane Kiffin is very expressive on the sideline throughout the course of that game. And ultimately, Georgia is able to outlast the number 5 Ole Miss team 43-35. Ole Miss allergic to defense in this game, Ben.
We were too.
Yeah.
We had 500 yards of offense and almost lost. We were about to score. I think we scored every single drive of the game.
Yeah.
But, and I was like, and we had a chance to lose still. I'm like, they're going to go for 2, get it. We're going to go to overtime. It was the whole time I'm like, we can't stop them. And that's weird to say.
I was
the Georgia defense, like, that's what we've prided ourselves on. Like, hey, we're going to be good on defense. We're going to run the ball. We're going to take care of it. And now we are scoring how many points and having how many yards. It's just a weird thing to watch in college football. And it's changed. And because you have anybody can transfer, anybody can leave every year. So it's a new dynamic in football. It's exciting to watch. If you want to see points scored, I would love a 20-21 game, but I was mad. I was hollering at the TV, can we get one stop? Goodness gracious. So I went and got ice cream, and when we got ice cream, we had 2 stops come back, and we won the game.
What kind of ice cream?
I didn't get none. What'd you get that day? I think she got mint chocolate.
Can't go wrong.
The GOAT.
I wouldn't say the GOAT, but
mint
it's a
chocolate
great
chip
option.
is the greatest of all ice creams.
Pistachio ice cream's the greatest.
I was just going to say it's mint chocolate chip and then pistachio.
17-0 fourth quarter, though.
Love that.
And Gunnar Stockton again, big moments.
Unreal. Like, I'm always like, is Gunnar the guy? He keeps performing. He makes the throws. He does it with his legs. He doesn't, when you look at him, like, that's the best we got. When you're looking at it, but he's a gamer. He's a guy who goes in, works hard. He does everything you ask, and he keeps getting the job done for us, and I can't complain. Like, he keeps winning. He's a winner.
He's the oldest looking college quarterback since who?
Oh, who is that? Is it Oregon State? No, it was Oklahoma State quarterback that was like 20.
Oh, well, Brandon Whedon was,
20.
but he
He's
was
just an old man. He's like a 28-year-old rookie.
Right. Like
I was down to him in the Senior Bowl, and I was like, how old are you? 30.
He's like the only one of the Senior Bowl that can rent a car legally. No, I'm not talking about Brandon Whedon or Chris Winkie, right? Both of those guys. Winkie played minor league ball and then came back to play college football. I'm talking about actual 21-year-old guys that look like he could pass for 40.
Oh, Robert just got in my ear and said Sam Hartman from Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, full beard. Yeah. He's also older, too.
Yeah.
Like
that's a good one, though.
Yeah.
That's a good one. But it's just crazy to watch Georgia have to outscore people. And the offense had gone a little bit dormant, right, for a game and a half.
Yeah.
Scoreless second half against Bama. Struggled to get out of the gates against Auburn. And so how kind of relieving was it for Georgia to kind of once again find that gear, although I think Ole Miss has had a lot of questions defensively all season.
Yeah, it was good to see. We mixed it up. We ran it. We threw it. We had some trick plays in there. We kind of did what we wanted on offense, and so did Ole Miss. It was like, all right, who's going to have the last laugh at it? And we made some stops at the end of the game, thank goodness. But we went out there and executed. We ran the ball. We threw it. We got all our playmakers the ball. We wasn't like, oh, we're going to throw to this guy. Everybody touched it. Everybody ran it. It's a good day on offense for Georgia.
Speaking of last laughs, Miami goes down on Friday night.
I was just going to ask about that.
Go ahead.
Well, just to the point of Gunnar Stockton versus Carson Beck now, because Stockton 12 of 12 for 135 yards with 3 touchdowns in the second half alone, 2 scores in the fourth quarter. He was awesome.
He was.
Ben, on the opposite side of things, and I didn't ask Robert to pull this audio, but maybe we can talk about it later in the week, because the Carson Beck quote after the game was a tough look. But let's talk about the 4 interceptions that he threw in the game.
No is tomorrow.
Yeah, fair enough. 2 of them a tip drill situation. Tough to put that on the quarterback. Carson Beck is explaining things after the game when interviewed by media, saying that the wide receiver ran the wrong route in that situation, and that is why the final interception, the game-sealing interception, happened the way that it did. But I feel like, Ben, and you tell me if I'm wrong about this, I feel like I've seen too many of those Carson Beck performances to call that just kind of a fluke or to be comfortable putting it on somebody else's plate as much as I'm putting it on the quarterbacks.
Yeah, as your quarterback, you should be the leader. You should take full responsibility of anything. The ball is leaving your hand, and no matter what, if the receiver runs the wrong route, if the O-line's not blocking, everything wrong, the quarterback is your leader. Like, he's got to step up and say, hey, we got to play better in these situations. I got to protect the ball. He did not do that. They turned it over. Everybody watched it on Friday night, and as a Dog fan, you're like, that's why. It's not our leader.
There's our guy.
There he is. There he is.
There's a reason. But honestly, like, there's a reason Georgia was comfortable letting him go.
Yes. I agree. We love what Gunner was bringing as the leader, as the guy who pushed everybody to be better around him. No, he's not uber talented like Beck with the arm talent, but comes down to it, Gunner wins games. He's a leader. He's a competitor. Everybody wants to play for that guy. They do a little better. The O-line blocks a little longer. The running backs run a little harder. Receivers knows, hey, we're going to give it for this guy. This guy is a grinder. He can get after it in the offseason. He's a leader. He's what you want. Like, yes, Carson's very talented, but he is not the guy that you want to lead your team.
Former Titans center Ben Jones in studio with us, talking some college football as well.
This feels criminal that we're talking about this before we even get to Vanderbilt and their top 10 win against LSU. But while we're on Miami, Robert, who is going to win your beloved ACC? Because it's insane right now. Georgia Tech's 4-0 in the conference. Virginia's 3-0. SMU is 3-0. And here's Miami at 1-1, despite everybody, including me, penciling them in as the ACC champion and representative in the college football playoff.
I would love to say Georgia Tech. I think it would be easy to go Haynes King is playing incredible. Duke, though, Duke gave him a run for their money. If you were just box score watching, that game wasn't even close. Duke, it is crazy to me how they have had such a change in philosophy of football, whatever, to now being like, we're in the top half of the league. Where they
can relate.
We're perennial bottom feeders. The easy answer, it would Georgia Tech or Virginia for me. Virginia, I would have never seen this coming in a million years. If you would have said to us in August, Virginia has a chance to be a playoff team.
It's crazy.
What would you have done?
It's crazy, man. It's insane. How would you feel about Georgia Tech winning the ACC and making the playoff?
They're good. I give them credit. Like, they have flipped that program.
No, be honest. I don't want your press conference answers. Get out of here.
You know how much I hate Georgia Tech. It's Tech. Like, I'm not even supposed to say the state before them because they're not worthy of us because they're Tech. Like, I hate them that much, but they have literally turned that program around. Brent Key is a heck of a coach over there, and I pull against them every single week. And I'm like, man, they're good. They're good. They're really good on offense. They're tough. They're physical. It's what you want to see. I'm like, man, I hate it, but it's going to be a battle at Thanksgiving, that Friday night game at Georgia Tech. Not looking forward to it.
Friday night has not been kind to favorites this high school football or college football season.
Yeah.
With Florida State crashing down, Miami going down.
What's going on with Florida State, by the way? Like, Mike Norvell went from upsetting Alabama to buyout conversations.
What do you mean? Come on, Florida State, they're 0-4 in conference, but beat Alabama, which means Boston College can beat Alabama. Why can't y'all beat Alabama? It was so easy for us.
Well, maybe don't go play action on a third down at the goal line with no timeouts. But we talked about this after the FSU Week 1 win over Bama. To be a Florida State fan is the wildest, drunkest ride in college football over the last 3 years. You go undefeated, get snubbed from the college football playoff, bottom out in the most dramatic way possible last year, open 2025 with that win against Alabama, and then proceed to go 0-4 in the conference. What kind of existential crisis are Florida State Seminole fans in right now?
I got weekly updates because there's a lot of Florida State people in Nashville. I got weekly updates from our buddy Connor, who is a diehard.
Oh, yeah.
Lives and breathes it, and he is just in hell at any given point with the experience of the last, again, to your point, 3 years. Tennessee fans were in hell in Tuscaloosa, Ben. It's an experience Georgia fans are familiar with, I'm sure.
No doubt.
So what did you make of the way that game played out? Because it's the rare game where you come away from Tennessee in Tuscaloosa feeling like they had the opportunity, but they themselves cost them the opportunity. They beat themselves as much as they got beat.
100%. You're right there. You want to bash the play calling? Yes. Like, you can't do that. If they score, it's great. If they don't, you got somewhere to go with it. You had an opportunity to go into half, come out of half. And the worst case out of half, if you kick a field goal, score after half, you're winning 17-16 in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And by that time, when that was a 100-yard return, I could hear my friends in the stadium screaming, lighting their cigars. They were so ready. You can't do that in Tuscaloosa. Like, the worst case, you just run it and don't score. Like, you cannot give them a touchdown, and that hurts. Like, you go in that place, you're playing so well, and that just takes the life out of you.
Well, that honestly, when they came out in that formation, where obviously it's heavy personnel, I
thought they were running it.
I honest to God, thought
they're
they
about
were
to run
running
it and go in the half. They're going to stop them and not get any points right here. I was like,
they had just gotten stuffed prior.
Yes, I was like, they're gonna,
which again, to Ben's point, felt like the worst case scenario. And then they run the play action game there, and it's a bad throw, and the defensive back, defender makes a play on a ball, and to your point, the Tennessee running back almost catches him on the run back to prevent the 7. But I mean, my God, Ben, it went from the worst case scenario to the unthinkable, because the way that stadium exploded, like you could hear it through the broadcast. It was almost shaking my living room through the broadcast for how crazy that place went. And you knew at that point it was over.
I was getting some deja vu. It's not quite the same situation, but the Jared Garantano play, kind of going rogue over the top on the goal line, that would have made it a one-score game, fourth quarter. And instead, it's going back the other way. That was flashing through my eyes during that play.
It was the same thing last week with Georgia-Auburn. Auburn's going in to go up 17-0. Quarterback goes up, tries to score, knocks it out. The refs blow the whistle. We should have got the pickup fumble to the house.
Yeah.
We stop them. We get down there. We kick a field goal, and all the momentum turned. Exact same thing happened to Tennessee. Momentum's a real thing. College, pro, like you got to have that going in. That was by far the worst case scenario right there to Tennessee, and it just took the life out of them.
I want to ask you about Vanderbilt within this context, okay? Because did you watch either of you College Game Day?
Absolutely.
Okay, so Knicks, they do their picks right before all the games kick off. And our buddy Jelly rolls up there and he's picking the hometown teams because I know they wouldn't let him come back to Nashville if he picked Vanderbilt.
He picked the Vols, too.
Or if
He's
he
the
didn't
only
pick
one who
Vanderbilt.
picked the Vols.
Yeah, he says, so he picks Tennessee and then texted me afterwards. I see Tennessee choking again. They probably regretted that one. But anyway, Saban refuses to pick Vanderbilt. Pat McAfee is up there being like, have you picked Vandy once all year long? And Saban, with a response that I think is fair unless you've actually watched Vanderbilt this season, saying, I just can't get over the conception or the preconceived notion of Vanderbilt in my mind because they were the doormats for the entire SEC, my entire coaching career.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, Ben, they are as physical as Alabama in Tuscaloosa. They turn the ball over, they lose. Yep. They are more physical than LSU, favored. And Vandy fans are now carrying themselves in a way where in any other situation they would have rushed the field and celebrated. Didn't bother, didn't have to because they beat LSU so soundly. What do you make of the job that Clark Lee and Diego Pavia and that coaching staff and that roster have done this season?
It's amazing. They've built a culture over there. It's a winning. They expect to win now. Like it used to be, we're going to win 6 games. We're going to win our non-conference. We're going to hopefully beat Kentucky, surprise Tennessee when Tennessee was down those couple years, like, and try to steal one more. Like, let's get a bowl game. They were trying. Now you're like, man, like nobody. You don't want to play those guys. Like they're really good on offense. They play hard on defense. They're good. Like I give them credit. They are good over there.
You scared over there?
I don't want to play them. I'm looking at them like, woo! Thank goodness we ain't got Vandy. Now it used to be like, man, we ain't got Vandy. Like we
insane.
Want them. You don't want to play them. I'm telling you, they're good.
It's amazing what Clark Lee has done there, man. You just cannot say enough. Like, no, I've not seen a bigger turnaround in the SEC, Ben, from a cultural standpoint, from what you thought a program was capable of.
Right.
Even in the worst years of Tennessee football. Like, yes.
Put some respect on Indiana.
Okay, we're talking about.
He should be getting that contract that y'all just got. Like, hey, who's on
the $93 million guaranteed
how
contract?
How loyal is he? Because, yes, he's an NBA guy. He's a Vandy guy. Like, This dude is a heck of a coach, a recruiter, getting those guys in there. Everybody's buying in. Like, that's a team, other teams from Florida, everybody else who's going to lose their coach. That's the one you'd be like, man, why can't we get somebody like that to come in here and turn our program around? Because he has definitely turned that program around.
There's a couple pretty big jobs open right now, too. Florida,
Penn State.
How often? Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, if Clark Lee was not a Vanderbilt alum and didn't have the ties, the hometown kid, Vanderbilt alum, played there, Vandy fans would already be preparing themselves for that
100%.
move. But
no doubt.
That is what puts this interesting twist on it. And then on Saturday, he beats his former boss in Brian Kelly.
Yep.
And with James Franklin being fired from Penn State, we talked so much, Ben, about James Franklin. He is who he is. You know exactly what you're going to get from him. They can't beat the highly ranked teams. They're going to just crank out 10-win seasons over and over. Does Brian Kelly now step into that role in terms of the guy that can't get over that hump, but is always going to have his program above a certain level? Because for Penn State, the challenge for so many years was, what is our standard here? If it's a national championship standard, we're not meeting it yet with James Franklin, but are we happy with this? We know what the standard is at LSU.
Right.
The last 3 head coaches have won championships at LSU. Ed Orgeron grunted and drooled his way to a championship at LSU. Yeah. So does Brian Kelly now step into that role that James Franklin had previously held, banging his head on a wall or on a ceiling?
Yeah, Brian Kelly's used to being at Notre Dame when you play 2 or 3 hard games a year, play all the military schools. Hey, I got 10 wins. Let me in the playoffs. He's in the SEC now. He's like, what did I do? Like, why did I come
You think
here?
he regrets it?
He's not going to say it, but they're about to end up losing 4 games. Do you get rid of him? You still got to play Bama. You got to play A&M. Like, those are not – you're sitting there, 4 losses to LSU. Again, those fans are going to be livid down there.
Yeah.
They're expecting to win. He came in here. I didn't know if he was going to be the right fit for him. I feel like personality, you got to be a different kind of coach to go down there to Baton Rouge and coach. They're different down there. They got talent, and you're not winning down there with that talent. People's going to be coming looking because that is a hot job. Everybody wants to go down there because you can get players, and if you can't win, something's a problem. It's an issue.
And football's the most important thing. Like, you're not going to have a lack of resources. You're not going to have a lack of commitment. Like, that you take that job knowing that you have the full support of everybody involved with that program as soon as you walk through the door. And it's why Saban picked them on Saturday morning, because he's like, they've got too many talented players 100%. To lose this game.
I'm with
because
you.
Nick Saban, with those talented players, you can't imagine him losing a game, right? Like, Brian Kelly is in a very unique position. Now, speaking of unique, I don't know how many coaches would win the way that Billy Napier won on Saturday and still get fired anyway. And I understand it's a 3-4 start for Florida, and that's not ideal, but Mississippi State is not a bad football team, and they handle business at home, and Billy Napier's being asked questions in the postgame press conference about losing his job, and he's just kind of, saying the thing that all coaches in those situations say, but you can't worry about it, got to focus on the next game, except he's not going to focus on the next game because he's out the very next day.
Same thing happened to Jimbo, by the way, after thumping Mississippi State, fired the next day at A&M.
Mississippi State, a common denominator.
Yeah, they didn't win like they were supposed to. Mississippi State had a chance to win right there at the end of the game and blew it. So, hey, we got the Gators next. They got a bye week, and they got to come. We got to go down to the biggest cocktail party, and it's going to be Georgia, Florida. Good luck.
Who makes sense in that job, Lucas? You mentioned the coach. You are a coaching carousel addict.
Your coach, but y'all locked him up.
No.
Y'all locked him up. Y'all were smart.
Now that we care about football, baby, we're giving out $11 million a year contracts.
He was the name. He was going there. That was the guy.
Oh, you think he would have taken? It would be tough to turn that job down. Why not Lane though?
Here's the thing.
Does he want that pressure? He's at Ole Miss. He's happy. They're paying him well.
He's a competitor.
And I saw Dan Thompson, who covers Florida football, report that Lane will be the top target for the Gators. He has been before. But in this era, what would Lane Kiffin have at Florida that he doesn't currently have at Ole Miss? With the backing they have in NIL, other than history and the lack of championship years up on the stadium in the rafters, which does nothing to help you win games in 2025.
Right.
What would he have at Florida that he doesn't have right now? Other than being in a more talent-rich state, which matters.
You can get anybody. You can see that. He goes and gets transfer guys from all over. They got talent at Ole Miss. It's not like he's like, oh, I don't have talent here. He can get it there. So I don't know if he really wants to go over there. Like, yes, It's going to look like it. Ole Miss is going to break him off with some more money.
Yeah.
And he'll be right there at Ole Miss.
We've got someone in the F&M Bank chat saying Brent Key.
What about Alex Golish?
Brent Key is a stud. Like, he goes down there, I'm like, darn it. Now we got to, and not just Georgia Tech. Now he's going to go down and get talent because he is doing the most with what he has at that school.
I'd be surprised if Florida goes back to the G5 route after the Napier thing, who did such a good job at Louisiana Lafayette. Alex Golish is a great coach. He's going to get a big job. But from a perception standpoint, I'd be surprised if Florida goes back into that well.
I'm with you on that.
Don't let optics dictate your hire. Like, I get there's more to it than just the optics of it, but that just bothers me. The idea of that having really any say in the decisions that you make instead of just the coach of the football.
But I think you can look at what happened with Billy and say, okay, we need a more proven commodity in here.
You got to sell it to boosters. You got to sell it to players. You got to go out there and get a name.
Yeah, just like the Titans can look at firing Brian Callahan and say, okay, we need somebody who has more experience to come in here. That's not just an optics thing.
Right.
That's looking at what went wrong and looking at what needs to be added to that role.
It's good to see you, man.
You too, man.
We appreciate you coming in, and perhaps we'll have more pleasant conversations next Monday. Although I don't know, the Colts up next.
They're good.
All right, we'll let Ben get on with his day, and we will talk about Vanderbilt hosting game day on West End, as Lucas mentioned in his update. Coming up next. We're about to have show beef. It's really our show and Ron Slay. What are you nodding your head back there for? Shaking your head as if you didn't take cookies too.
I didn't take any cookie out of the cookie jar. My hand never got caught in that cookie jar.
Didn't get caught.
Oh, no. There's a video.
It's a snitch off over here. Nobody's safe.
It is so damning. So, Ron Slay likes cookies.
It's those Biscoff cookies that you get on like a Delta flight.
Yeah, you guys are just disrespectful. Eating another man's food is just wrong. It's these cookies, by the way, if anyone's been watching those on TV.
You see Robert holding it up to the camera.
He didn't take them. He just took them as an example so he could show people the kind of cookies.
I just need to know what the kind of things you guys would be. Oh, my God. They're delicious.
They're so good.
These are fantastic.
See, the difference between me and the two of you is I will buy Slay a replacement box of cookies. The two of you just raid his stash.
I'll buy him a pallet.
I have raided his Biscoff stash before, and I bought him a whole sleeve of them. They're so good. You can also get the butter. You can get like a jar of like, instead of peanut butter, it's like the butter that is used to make those cookies.
What?
Yes. It's amazing.
Where can you find this?
They're like ginger.
In what stores? I don't know, but they're delightful. I thought they were exclusively on like Delta flights. Like I didn't know you could actually buy these things.
Yeah, they are. You can get them at Kroger. You get them at any grocery store.
Either way. So Lucas thinks that he's caught me red-handed sneaking a pack of Biscoff cookies. So he takes a picture over his shoulder. But he neglects to realize, or he forgets, that I also have a camera phone, and the way that you...
A camera phone.
With your hand in literally the cookie jar...
The cookie box.
Looking back up at me like a raccoon digging through trash when you've been caught red-handed is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. You have no shame.
Raccoons are awesome, by the way. I want a pet raccoon.
I think it's more offensive the way Buck says it if you call someone a raccoon, because Buck says raccoon. It's not a raccoon. You don't can't.
It's a raccoon.
Yeah, it's a raccoon.
A raccoon.
Awesome animal.
You sound like a Street Fighter character. Like, oh, get out of that box of cookies, you raccoon. Like,
we should normalize having raccoons as pets. And monkeys.
No, they're mean as hell, dude. When they bite you, it hurts.
You
are sound like you've been bit by a raccoon.
I've been bit by a raccoon, a squirrel.
Squirrels can that.
See, I know we're safe because usually Slay is in the chat, and it must be during his nap time because he has not emerged to chastise us all for raiding his cookie stash.
I did. I texted him and asked him, hey, wait, don't you have an aquarium? And he said, yeah, hold on. And I'm still waiting. So I don't know what I was holding on for, or
to take a nap.
I think he is in the middle of something. So eventually he will find out about this, and there will be hell to pay for you guys. Definitely not me.
It is crazy the lengths that we will go to talk about anything but Vanderbilt football.
That's not true,
It wasn't on purpose. I swear to God, it wasn't on purpose.
Oh, I got to find...
Somebody in the chat literally gets in there and says, about time you talk about Vandy, all caps. Yeah, I know. Well, let's put some respect on them. They manhandled LSU
They did.
on Saturday. To their credit, Diego Pavia was great again. Coming off the bye, looking to respond after an unfortunate loss to Alabama, where they played a good game. Diego Pavia turns it over twice in Tuscaloosa. That's obviously not a winning formula, but they respond. They respond at home. They handle business against a ranked opponent. They were favored, so they did the thing that Vegas expected them to do. I just think it's... At what point, how many times do they have to do this season for us to move away from it's just crazy because it's Vandy? Like, what more must they do? Because it's at a certain point, it's just almost disrespectful to Vandy right now to couch every conversation by, well, it's just crazy because it's Vandy, even though it is insane.
I don't think so. I think that just gives more credit to Clark Lee for what he's done there, and to Candace Story Lee and that entire department.
Truly, like the athletic department as a whole deserves credit for the success that the football team is having.
I mean, just that stadium, it looks incredible. Like, you see the pans, you see the setting. It looks like a college football setting, which you haven't been able to say about Vanderbilt in so long. It was a construction site not 2 years ago. And now, ironically, they host College Game Day as they host Missouri in a top 15 matchup, where it's the other team on the opposite sideline that's playing in a construction site. Have you seen what the back of one of the end zones looks like in Missouri Stadium?
No.
It's awful. It is an eyesore.
It can't be worse than the Jumbotron hanging from two cranes swinging in the wind. The Jumbotron swinging in the wind at Vandy the last couple of years was insane.
I think it's worse. Man.
No way.
Yes, it is. Like where they have the rock M made of white rocks.
Yeah.
That's gone. They're remodeling that part of it. It's just mounds of dirt in a crane behind. So whenever you get a shot from behind the quarterback, it looks horrible. I digress. Vanderbilt just beat up LSU up front. They just manhandled them. Diego Pavia striking the Heisman pose, and he has to be in the Heisman discussion at this point. They ran all over LSU. LSU could not tackle in space. You would have thought that they would have the athleticism to be able to chase down Vanderbilt in those moments and win that battle up front. LSU gets outrushed 239-100. It's crazy. Vanderbilt just deserved to win this game. It's a 2-score game for a good chunk of the second half. And they are a legitimate college football playoff contending team. And that Texas game looks pretty winnable. Got to go on the road, but Texas just had to eke out a win at Kentucky and get bailed out by their special teams unit.
It's crazy how pedestrian Arch looks in these moments, and that there's a larger sample size of him looking bad than there is of anywhere close to the expectations that were set for them. But just to keep it on Vandy, they will host College Game Day for the first time in quite some time.
Since 2008, right? I don't think they've hosted since that Auburn game.
Chris Fowler was still on the desk, so it's been
Bobby Johnson's the head coach.
It's been a while. So Vandy gets to have that joy, that celebration, that fun with College Game Day coming to town. Obviously, Missouri is a quality opponent, and we'll see how Vanderbilt balances the success of this week and manages to find a way to string these things together. But, I mean, they are favored right now ahead of the game. We'll see how much the line changes, if at all, throughout the course of the week. But it would be tough to argue against Vanderbilt being able to handle a Missouri team that does have some flaws, does have some things that they can beat you with, but Vandy is the better football team right now.
Missouri can run the football, though. Let's not forget Missouri, sure. And they had Alabama at home, but Missouri was in that game down to the wire. And Vandy matched up with Bama well, but they did some self-inflicted things that Missouri did not do. I think this has a chance to be a really good game. Really good game between two teams that are very capable of running the football and two gotta-have-it games for both of these teams. You're not necessarily eliminated from the playoff discussion. They each have one loss. But, again, you give yourself no margin for error down the stretch. If you lose to Mizzou, if you're Vandy, you have to beat Texas. You have to beat Tennessee, both of those on the road, to have a shot at the college football playoff.
I didn't see this, and I think it's Ann on YouTube points out the TV showing Pavia saying game over and immediately panning to Garrett Nussmeier crying was so mean. I didn't see Nussmeier. Did he actually... Were there tears?
I don't know. I don't know if there were tears. I did not get to watch the tail end of this game on my way to Geodis Park, but I did hear that Brian Kelly was banging tables again.
Is there a more performative coach anywhere in sport? Like anywhere. Basketball, football, baseball, than Brian Kelly. He's just so hard to like.
Yeah.
Also, say the Missouri quarterback's last name again.
Pribula. Bo Pribula.
Why does the broadcast call him Pribula?
I have heard a lot of Pribula. I've heard it both ways.
Pribula. That sounds like the ugliest woman at a pretty girl contest. And next up, Pribula.
It's the Beulah.
See, Beulah, I feel like could be a very attractive woman, but Pribula.
Well, Pribula sounds like a Greek goddess of scorn and hatred or something like that.
Pribula pronounced properly, sure, but Pribula is the.
I'm just assuming that Lucas has been pronouncing it wrong the entire time and that the broadcast has it correct.
Oh, I'm going to go with Joe Tessitore on this one, yes. He's a gamer, though, and so is Diego Pavia.
He's a gamer.
Both of these quarterbacks will put their bodies on the line over and over again. So I think he's got a chance to be the best game of the weekend from a pure entertainment perspective.
Brett Kern is here, as is Bryce Kern. So a couple of Kerns will join us in studio coming up next. Two Rivers Ford is the South's most trusted Ford dealer for a reason, because they offer you real deals. The price you see on the sticker is the price that you will pay. They will not try and upsell you or upcharge you on all manner of different options that you didn't ask for. The best price is clearly marked on the vehicle or on their website. You don't need to fill out a form. You don't need to do anything. And unlike other dealers, Two Rivers Ford never adds those accessories or service plans to inflate the price without talking to you first and then pretend to give you a discount. At Two Rivers Ford, the best price is always available, always accessible, and always real. Honesty is always the policy at Two Rivers Ford, and that's why they're the South's most trusted Ford dealer. So visit them in Mount Juliet, just 7 miles east of B&A, or online at tworiversford.com.
We are just seconds away from 12 o'clock. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Titans started hot, but the Patriots responded with a 21-point run to win 31-13 at Nissan Stadium Sunday. Titans fall to 1-6. Cam Ward, 25 of 34 for 255 with a touchdown, an interception, and a fumble that resulted in a Patriots scoop and score. Interim head coach Mike McCoy will meet with the media today. That's coming up at 1:30. College football, Tennessee, self-inflicted wounds in Tuscaloosa in a 37-20 loss to Alabama. The Vols dropped their second game of the season, and they dropped to number 17 in the AP poll. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt is 6-1. wearing down number 10 LSU in a 31-24 win at home, and the Commodores are up to number 10 in the AP poll, first time in the top 10 since 1941. College Game Day heads to West End this weekend as Vandy hosts Mizzou in a top 15 matchup. Nashville Soccer Club is headed to the MLS Cup playoffs. They are matched up with Lionel Messi and Inter Miami in the first round, a best-of-3 series. Game 1 in Miami will be this Friday. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home. For the Titans and Vols, this is 104.5 The Zone.
Brett Kern is here for the final hour. We always appreciate his presence. Are you a Toronto Blue Jays fan?
Subtle. Yeah.
Well, not quite.
I
They
know.
got a Game 7 tonight.
Growing up in Buffalo, the Buffalo Bisons. So I grew up a huge Indians fan, Guardians, whatever whatever they are. Just because Buffalo was a AAA affiliate, kind of Nashville sounds to Milwaukee. So a lot of guys come through rehab assignments, all that kind of stuff for the Indians. So my dad and I would go to a ton of games. And then there was a time where they split, and they were like with the Blue Jays and the Indians, and then they went straight to the Blue Jays. So then for about 3-4 years, we'd go to games and watch all the Blue Jay guys coming down. Vlad Guerrero was one of them. And so obviously now his son, having a huge playoffs right now, and Game 7 tonight, and we'll see.
Postseason baseball's actually been awesome.
It's fun.
Like, we don't do much baseball around here as a show because the three of us aren't overwhelmingly interested in baseball, but I do. I'm sure people would hate it if we started to talk about it as if we've been paying attention to baseball all year long. But it is fun for me to just drop in during the postseason, see Shohei Ohtani do things completely
insane,
unimaginable,
unbelievable.
The other night for the Dodgers, I mean, he's just just unlike any athlete in that sport I've ever seen, or any that I think anybody has ever seen. I'm sure baseball diehards would push back with at least some examples, but I don't know, man. The guy is electric.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to my wife the other night just about, Shohei Ohtani, and she was like, what did he do? I was like, well, he had 3 home runs and he had 10 strikeouts.
What didn't he do?
And she looked back to me and was like, are you serious? Like, just to understand, how does that even happen? So, I don't know. We'll see tonight. Kirby going for Seattle, Bieber going for Toronto. They've already both pitched in the series, and Kirby got roughed up, and Bieber had a good outing, former Indians pitcher. So, had the old Tommy John, and now he's with the Blue Jays. So, it'll be fun. I mean, you got 2 football games tonight. One being a huge determination on how my picks went. I know we didn't do it on Friday. I wasn't here. I get it.
Did you do picks anyway?
I did, just for fun. And
good for you.
College 2 for 2.
I was happy to take a week off. I keep taking L after L after L.
Yeah, and tonight, I you know what? The sad part was I had the Jags winning. I had a money line I picked, and I got that one not even close.
I mean,
that's the thing about London, though. You don't know. The travel, is somebody coming in on Monday, right? Is another team coming in on Friday? The travel, who's doing what? Where are they staying? There's such a routine. Your rhythm's thrown off, everything. And really, it's who shows up. So Bryce is under control.
Yeah, Bryce is our producer for the moment.
Bryce is now
this is
manning the wheels of steel.
He's got a big grin on his face.
Look at the size of that smile. That's terrifying.
Bryce Kern has so much power right now.
Does he even know how to turn on his microphone? I imagine not.
Oh, no, you didn't.
That was in our ears.
He just talked back to us.
That was just the talkback button.
You heard on the area.
Now we're on.
He was confident. He goes, yeah, I know how to do it.
Yeah, I do. Eat it, you nerds.
That's awesome.
Bring your kid to work day on the Buck Rising
Probably
show.
got some AP homework to do. Why don't you finish that up,
That's
bud,
great.
real
I
quick?
already finished all that.
There you go.
He's got the microphone. Now we're in trouble. Anyway. It's so funny. Fair enough about the London weirdness, but 35-7, the Jags are the team that should be able to handle all of the weirdness.
I think Shad Khan was trying to get them to have all their home games in London because he was trying to buy Wembley, if I'm correct, a while ago. Obviously,
He's probably trying to buy London.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
And then I think he was going to locate the team to Boston. So they were going to practice in Boston, all that kind of stuff, and then fly over for all their games.
My goodness.
Well,
Matt Stafford was unbelievable.
yeah.
5 touchdowns, 21 completions, 5 of them touchdowns, 3 to Devontae Adams.
Without Puka Nacua,
Yep.
the degree of difficulty on that, he's awesome, Matt Stafford. And the Jags looking more and more fraught by the week.
Yeah. Not the Colts.
Not the Colts. All right, so let's talk about this.
Sorry.
No. I mean, within the scope of the AFC South.
the next
because
opponent.
If you'd have told me, like, all the Titans have to do, Texans play tonight, obviously, they're 2-3. All the Titans have to do is win a game, and they can get within, an arm's length of the Texans, which if you told me that is insane. Now, the Titans also have to win a game, which seems like an improbable situation at this point in time. But this division, you've been in this division for 100 years, Brett. Like, it's respectfully, it's just
Compliment. I'll take it.
it's one of the weirdest divisions every year. This year, I really have no idea what to do with it other than to believe in the Colts because they give us no choice.
I mean, Colts they're coming out, watching the game yesterday in the Chargers uniforms, which were bright and loud. They just dominated. I don't think the Chargers really had any chance. The Colts were just moving the ball efficiently at will. Danny Dimes doing Danny Dimes things, Indiana Jones, and it's just their defense is playing well, or playing well enough. And like you said, we were talking earlier. I think we had Pick'em's Colts a couple times, and like the run game, they can travel. Unlike the Titans, last week we had 15 carries. Somehow this week it got less.
Evaporated.
Right? The first half was fine because the first half they did enough in running the ball to be able to set up the play action, some of those boots. But once you get down. Obviously to come out the second half with New England scoring and then obviously Cam's, fumble and all of a sudden the run game's gone. And that puts so much pressure on Cam Ward, first of all. And then this young receiving group, whether it's Gunnar Helm, Io Manor, DK obviously did a great job yesterday coming in and kind of taking Ridley's role of being able to kind of, go deep on some routes and use his speed. But it's just putting so much pressure on them that they can't, it just can't keep up right now.
They can't sustain.
Can't sustain for a full game. Looks great for a half. And you could say whatever you want about the end of the game or end of half situation. You can kind of come at it from both sides. Well,
give me your perspective on it because it seemed a bit ridiculous to us in the immediacy of it with Mike McCoy as the interim coach that they have all 3 timeouts, understanding the wind is a factor, and you've played in that stadium plenty of times.
When the field goal posts are moving, like it's one thing for the flags to be moving, and depending on the direction, sometimes it can kind of not get caught in the stadium. But when the field goal posts are moving, that is no joke. I mean, I was driving to the stadium yesterday and I saw those flags. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty windy out there. It's gonna be tough. And then when I got into the stadium and saw the field goal post moving, my heart, I immediately felt like I was back kicking again. And I'm like,
PTSD.
This is not good. This is not good. And I felt for the guys and, punting in it's way worse just because the apex of the ball is higher. Field goals, you can kind of keep it a little bit lower. And when you have a leg like Joey Sly, it can cut anything. So, it was tough conditions yesterday.
So the end of half circumstance where they do have the 3 timeouts, where they start on their 35 and they're not able, they don't, at least from our perspective, I know that they're trying, but it didn't look like they were being terribly aggressive to put themselves in scoring position. Can you give me some nuance on that rather than the immediate reaction by the media corps, which was to walk into Mike McCoy's press conference and be like, hey, man, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, I think obviously running, first play, running it to Pollard, it gave you a sense of, okay, because I believe New England, I think Braves had 3 timeouts, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you knew right off the bat that after that run play, obviously I think it only went for 3 or 4 yards. If he was going to burn a timeout, you're in a totally different situation. He's trying to get the ball back. But understanding too, he still has 3 timeouts. And so if you go out, you run a play, you call timeout, and then you throw an incompletion, right? They don't have to use a timeout. And then let's say you throw another incompletion and it's incomplete. All of a sudden, they now have it would be 2 timeouts, right? Even still 3 timeouts if you called one after the run.
And 30 to 40 seconds.
Right. And so that's plenty of time. And now here you are standing, Hecker, say the ball's at, still at the 35, right? Now Hecker's punting into, I mean, you saw the punts that were going in that north direction of the stadium. I think there was a 25-yarder. You know, Johnny had like a 34-yarder. He had another great one that hit at the one and it kicked back. But, you know, I think if you gave him 10 balls to hit that ball, he's probably only doing that 2 or 3 times. And then look at who you're punting to, Marcus Jones, right? Yeah. He leads the league 23.1 per. Already has an 87-yard touchdown against Carolina. That is a dangerous man, you know, to be punting to. So I would assume Johnny would probably hit a junk ball or something like that. But still, you get any type of return. Now all of a sudden they have, let's say they could get the ball back to, you know, the 40 or the 50 even, and they still have 2 timeouts with, you know, 30 seconds left. Now, you know, you're in a totally different situation. So I understand why he did it. That's definitely the conservative route. I'm sure, you know, Tennessee fans are, you know, it's the same thing. It's like you could have, you know, you come out in a run formation, but everybody knows you're throwing the ball, right? And obviously worst case scenario. And so a lot of times with special teams end a half situation, it's what is the worst case scenario. So I think I totally understand why they did it. You know, you're going into half, you're playing good football. Like, okay, yeah, you're down 17-13. Let's go into half. You know, New England starts the ball. The unfortunate part is, you know, when they did start the half, New England went down on a 11 play. They started on the 12,
7.5 minute drive,
right? And they started on the 12 after a penalty, after a block in the back. And so here you are. Hey, we got great field position potentially, and obviously then things just snowballed, and then you become extremely predictable. Your play actions are done, all that stuff. You're done running the ball because you're down 31-13, and like I said, that just puts a lot of stress on Cam and the offense.
Imagine saying before the season that going into week 8, the Titans would be on a 2-game stretch against the Patriots and Colts where they would be playing the teams with the best records in the AFC. That's the situation right now.
The Colts are 14.5-point favorites.
They're the only one-loss team left in the AFC.
Yeah. They're playing really, really good football. And that goes to show that, you know, with Stike and Alex Tanny up there, you know, running the offense, it's like it's the right situation. You get the right guy at your quarterback that knows how to run your system. You feel confident with the plays you can call with him. You have the guys around him. You have a run game. That's what I said, that the Titans don't have a run game. They've only gone over 100 yards against the Rams. Everything else has been under 100, and that puts so much pressure on Cam, and they just become predictable. Your play actions you're not biting. You know that they can't run the ball. It's super frustrating, honestly. But for the Colts, they can run it. You got Jonathan Taylor. You know, Indiana Jones is playing great, and he's got weapons. You know, Pittman, Pierce, they're all stepping up. Tyler Warren with the touchdown yesterday. They're all stepping up and making great plays. And you know, that's a fierce defense. That's not, you know, with Buckner and Grover Stewart and some of those guys. That's a team that I think can go pretty far and is pretty dangerous.
And they're without their top cover corner, who was playing like one of the best corners in the league because his teammate concussed him before the last game in Charfarius.
I heard he's out. Is he on IR?
He's on injured reserve.
Oh, man.
Scary. I mean, he got his it's the definition of getting your bell rung.
That was a rough warm-up. You have AR getting taken out by his own stretching band, and then a teammate.
Same warm-up. How is Richardson on IR?
He's on injured reserve, too. It's an orbital fracture.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a rough warm-up.
So who's their backup there? Is it Ellinger still? No.
They waived him, I think. I want to say there's a different backup quarterback, but I don't know off the top of my head. It's just a ridiculous circumstance. So with that, let's talk more about
Leonard.
Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Product.
Yep.
Was he a draft pick for them this year?
6th round.
Sixth round draft pick.
Duke to Notre Dame to Indy.
Well done by Robert. All right.
ACC legend.
So we can talk more about the situations that the Titans were in yesterday. We'll also talk to Brett Kern about the Cam Ward circumstance, what we saw from him to start, how it finished. You'll hear from Cam Ward, all of that coming up next. Brett Kern cannot escape Lucas and Robert's lunch hour, it seems. What's on the menu today that you are assaulting our...
He's starting to sweat over there. It's already hitting him.
Our sensory overload.
He's getting the meat sweats.
An unnamed Cuban joint.
So I'll take this over cilantro and onion.
Some mojo pork.
Yum.
Some rice and beans, yucca, and plantains. It's comfort food, baby.
Do you watch the Food Network a lot?
Oh, I used to be obsessed with Man vs. Food. I guess was that Travel Channel though?
Yeah, I never saw Man
Travel Channel.
vs. Food.
Awesome show.
What's the concept?
Just Adam, what's his last name, Robert?
Ferrara?
Yeah, he just would take on giant challenges, go to these diners and restaurants around the country.
Yeah, no, I know. Okay, I know what it is.
And have to eat like 100 wings or something, and he would do it.
Who's the spiky-haired
Guy Fieri?
Guy Fieri.
Okay, that guy sucks.
No, you're
stop.
so wrong.
No. Personal experience. He was at owners' meetings this year for reasons that are inexplicable to me. That guy sucks.
No, he just doesn't care about you.
Yeah, what
He
what
feeds,
interaction
like,
could you
so
have
many
had with
homeless
him?
people, does all these great works. I can't hear anything you're saying.
Oh, you don't have headphones.
That's correct.
So we will work our way through this. I did not have, personally, the interaction. I witnessed him big time, an NFL coach.
Which coach?
Okay, well then, he's a goober.
Which coach?
Matt LaFleur.
Oh, who cares?
What do you mean big time? Did Matt? I'm such a big fan.
Matt went up to Guy Fieri, and Guy Fieri was like...
He's like, yeah, I'm on vacation. I don't want to talk to you guys.
Probably didn't know who he was.
It was honestly stunning.
I mean, LaFleur can be an unassuming guy. You just see him around.
You know who the head coach of the Green Bay Packers are.
You know that.
This guy is around athletes all the time. He's hobnobbing at owners' meetings with the coaches, with the GMs.
point.
Like, Guy Fieri knows who Matt LaFleur is.
You don't think that they all run together at some point? He's seeing all these people, and he's like, "Oh yeah, aren't
I'm
you
sorry, you are not so big time as the big
is the
big time
biggest
chicken
time.
guy.
Guy Fieri
Huge.
is so much more big time than LaFleur.
Bleep that
Yes.
guy.
Like, I'm sorry, but he
I would
is.
agree with that.
He is a world.
Bigger than the Green Bay
Have you ever
Packers?
seen Guy's grocery games?
No, I don't know what that is.
Triple D, Triple G, but Buck, he is like world famous. People around the planet know Guy Fieri.
Restaurants bought his likeness to make a restaurant that he doesn't even run.
Doesn't
if you
even
ever
run it.
hear Guy Fieri,
the chicken guy thing is
whatever,
not-
I can't hear what you're saying. This is how we learn respect for each other. Oh, no, sorry, I was talking.
By the way, Adam Richman is Man vs. Food. Adam
Okay,
Richman.
who's Ferrara then? Is that the guy who used to the Man Show?
No, that's he's buddies with Jimmy Kimmel and Bill Simmons. I can't think of his Adam. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Carolla.
Adam Carolla. That's right. I think he's still out there doing the Adam Carolla show.
The Guy Fieri slander. Put some respect on Flavortown.
As
It's
soon
not
as Guy-
Flavortown, Green Bay.
As soon as Guy invites Buck on a Mesopotamia trip through the wilds, Buck would be like, "Oh, Guy is incredible. This guy is sensational."
But he would never.
Yeah, that's fair. If he's too big time for Matt LaFleur, I'm not getting the invite to Flavortown. Anyways, I'm doing everything I can not to talk about this damn football game, Brett.
How do you feel about Bobby Flay? No.
Anthony Bourdain.
Oh, he
R.I.P.
stole Ari Gold's wife in Entourage. I'm out on Bobby Flay.
He did.
I'm out on Bobby Flay.
That was a great cameo.
Guy, that's Bobby Flay is a home wrecker. The home wrecker. How dare you besmirch the Gold household? It's the only show reference I'd get. All right, you went as a fan yesterday to Nissan Stadium.
I did. A lot of Patriot jerseys that spanned a lot of generations of Patriot football.
I saw a split Brady, Pats, Bucks jersey in the stands at Nissan Stadium yesterday. I hate the split jerseys. I think they are so dumb.
Pats, Bucks?
Brady.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, that's dumb.
The experience for you as a fan, because somebody, I guess, in the chat saw you waiting in line, and you might have looked perturbed.
Yeah, it already took long enough to get down there with traffic, and then I guess 2 of the elevators weren't working to get up to club level, and the line was at least 70 yards long. I mean, I felt like where we started in the north end zone to where the line ended, I was probably on the opposite 20-yard line. We just waited. But they're not going to, the elevators don't work. They don't work. They're not going to fix them. They're building, the music venue next door. So
you're such the music venue next door.
That one took me a second. I knew that.
It was like the music
not register
venue
for me.
next door. Yes, the new Nissan Stadium, home of Taylor Swift, and the Tennessee Titans may play an occasional game there.
Great.
You are such a better person than me, because if I was you, I would have looked around and been like, no, one of you sweet holding or sweet service people, carry me upstairs.
Don't you know who I am?
To my bar, I would pull that card.
No. I mean, even when I was playing and I did appearances and all that stuff and wore my jersey, people were like, "Are you really Brett Kern?" I was like, I mean, yeah, do you really play? You don't look like a football player. I mean, my funny story real quick, when I got down to the ESPN award show my senior year for the Ray Guy Award, and I'm down in the lobby waiting on Kevin Huber, who played at Cincinnati. He played in the league for, I think, 14, he might have been 15 years, actually. And we were waiting in the lobby. And, of course, I'm dressed nice because we have to go to an event here in a little bit, waiting on him. And Tim Tebow walks in with his entourage.
Yeah.
And so we're standing there. I'm like, yeah, that's Tim Tebow. Like, man, he's actually bigger in person than I thought, whatever. And somebody from his entourage came over and like tapped me on the shoulder and was like, hey, excuse me, sir, can you help take some of these, can you help take some of this luggage up to his room? And I was like, I mean, should I not? I was like, oh no, I'm actually here for the award show. He's like, really? And I was like,
really?
Oh, come on.
Yeah, man. So I'm just used to it. So,
but you are
Who lasted longer in the National Football League?
Eat it, Tebow, you nerd. But you look more like an athlete than a lot of specialists do. Like, what are you, 6'3"?
6'2" and 15/16 according to my
there you go.
pro day.
Yeah, I mean, because you've got
I
me by
get
about
mistaken. I actually get more mistaken that I play for Nashville SC.
That makes sense.
Because I look like a soccer player.
Could be a keeper.
That's what I played.
Yeah.
Played keeper until I switched.
So, on the subject of the football game that took place yesterday at Nissan Stadium, how was your experience as a fan viewing it? What was your experience from the first half to the second half?
Yeah. What do you think the split was? 60-40?
On Pat's Titans fans?
Titans. The hard part is that
the navy blue jerseys.
The navy blue really threw everything off. Titans are navy blue, Pats are navy blue, so just all blended together.
I don't know if Titans fans were outnumbered. I know just based off the applause and the cheers that it felt like there were more Patriots fans at the stadium yesterday than Titans fans. I don't know that to be factually accurate, though. The announced tickets distributed was 67,000. I
mean, it was full.
That had a better crowd than I assumed.
It was full, but I mean, I think the Titans just they played a great first half. I mean, Cam looked pretty good, and he had some missed throws. Like I think on that first down or the first drive, third down to Io Manor just threw it behind him. Where I think if he threw in front of him, leading, I think New England's kind of playing a softer zone at the sticks. I think Io Manor with his size catches it and gets the first down, right? And then you keep moving that drive, and then obviously hopefully you get into the red zone. Which Lucas, I don't think they got into the red zone.
Did not. Second game this season, they have not reached the red zone. The closest they came was the errant pass from Cam to Ellick on the opening series. Cam starts 10 of 11, but that one incompletion was a missed throw to Ellick, who was open beyond the sticks. Would have been a first down on a 3rd and 7, and that's what made them settle for the field goal on the opening drive. But if Cam puts that on target, it's 1st and 10 on the 22, 23.
Still moving, yeah. But I thought they looked good in the first half. I just they were able to run the ball just enough to help set up play action, and you could tell Cam looks comfortable in the play action, right? And so that was going well. And then obviously, you get to halftime, and for New England to come out with the ball obviously up 17-13 to give up, 12-play, 88-yard drive, and then you're down. And for Cam, obviously there's an issue with ball protection. I'm not sure. What's going on with the ball. If it's just the thing too about that is, Chason was rushing him. So he was falling. He was almost running backwards to his left, right? And then obviously I think he was probably trying to throw it away, but now he's trying to throw it across his body with someone chasing him. It's different. I think if he was rolling out to his right, he could have, I don't think that play would have happened, but because he was rolling out to his left, trying to throw it across his body, and ball just slipped. It's 2 games in a row now where it's slipped in that fashion. So, for them to then go down 31-13 is not ideal. And then, then it's shotgun. You're trying to throw the ball. And there's, Cam made some good throws. Guys were making good catches. But, obviously when you're starting to pass the ball a lot more, the sacks become a little bit of an issue. And, I think there was it was 3rd and 7, then got sacked, and then it became 4th and 14, which is hard to overcome. So, taking 5 sacks for 39 yards is not great. But I think, on the interception to Chig, threw it behind Chig too, which was, so there's, I don't know if it's just the timing. I don't know if he's expecting guys to sit in the zone, because it seems to be happening.
That's what I thought on the Iamatter thing. I thought he was expecting him to sit down there.
I think he was thinking that he was going to sit. I think he thought Chig was going to sit as well, but both Chig and Iamatter kind of drifted in towards the middle, and Cam threw it behind. And obviously, you throw it behind Chig, tip ball. A lot of times that turns out to be a pick, and Marcus Jones getting that pick. And so it's frustrating, but I still think there's things to build upon. I was with Mike McCoy, in 2009 in Denver, which is kind of ironic because I think Josh McDaniels was the one that hired him, and now Josh is the OC in New England, and obviously Mike being and Mike's a great guy. I loved him. He was always
McCoy.
Yeah, Mike McCoy is always super nice. Conversations, you can tell he really cares about the players. You put a good first half together, and this is kind of like, I don't want to say week 1, but really it's a reset. You get a new coach in there. There's a new energy. It's kind of a wake-up call for some of these guys. Like, oh, shoot, they just fired a head coach, in the middle of the season. Like, this is real, right? If maybe you've seen a guy or two get cut, that kind of affects you a little bit. But to see a head coach get cut in the middle of the season, it's pretty crazy. So you're hoping to get that new energy, just kind of a refocus. And so, like I said, I thought they played great in the first half, but that second half, to start the way that they did, giving up that drive and then to respond, just wasn't great. And then obviously the Titans had a chance to respond after that. They went 3 and out. I think they went 3 and out again.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't great.
Maybe that's the way that we do it, Lucas. Like, I like that perspective from Brett, just to kind of pull me out of this, keep me from like being like, oh, they suck again, they lose again, whatever. Like, we just treat this as week 1 under Mike McCoy, and we talk about Cam Ward within that context. I don't hate that as perspective.
So they're 0-1.
About to be 0-2.
And it's like, obviously when you can't run the ball, it's extremely difficult. Literally what New England did yesterday, rushing for 175, what they had 115, 120 in the first half.
Yeah. Which is crazy, given how inefficient they've been. Ramondre Stevenson in particular.
Yeah, but they were running outside the tackles, right? They were not going inside to Big Jeff. They were not going inside to T Sweat. Like, they were running outside. And Ramondre, he's a great runner. He's a really good running back, and he's tough. He's physical. You saw his he had a couple runs where he got tackled, 7-8 yards downfield, and the next thing you know, it's 15, 16-yard gain, right? But I also see too, like, and I don't know. I know this is not in Cam's MO, but to see Drake May, to see how he runs, he doesn't rely on the run, but he also knows if there's an open gap where he can get through, he is fast, he is shifty, and I think that takes a lot of pressure off of him. I think it just opens up a lot more in the passing game, right? So now the defense has to think about, okay, well, now we have to stop the run, but now when we're in pass pro, or we're defending the pass, now we have to still think about Drake and his legs, where I think with Cam, he doesn't necessarily want to run right away. But and I've talked about this before, like if he can see a gap or two, right? If first read's not open, second read's not open, and you're kind of getting your third, but you see a gap, like, just go.
Yeah.
He played baseball. He knows how to slide, right? Even if you're going and you're running for 5, right? That's a positive play. If it's 1st and 10 and you're in a pass play and you can't get it, and you run, now you're in 2nd and 5. You're not susceptible to a 2nd and 10 or even taking a sack. And I just think that if Cam could, at least for this year, his rookie year, not rely on the run, because I don't want him to do that. Like Drake May can only do that for so long, right? I'd say that about Josh Allen. Josh Allen's very selective when he runs, but it's extremely effective. And I think that opens up the passing for him, because it's not like Josh Allen he's got Shakir and what else? Right,
yeah.
You kind of have, I don't want to say a Bustin Coleman in a first-round pick.
Coleman, Josh Palmer, yeah.
Right.
He's a second-round pick. He's inconsistent.
Some good tight ends.
Right, but I'm saying you could probably say, okay, obviously Josh does not have the best wide receiver core in the league, but he's able, with his running game, open up a little bit more in the passing game because of that. And I think if Cam could just, if it's one of those, hey, 4 carries for 20 or, 5 for 25 type thing, I just think that would help him out a lot, in the passing game, as far as teams would have to respect that a little bit more.
Well, Drake May is giving us the best case scenario example of a year 2 leap, right? From a guy that showed flashes, but also showed struggles in a difficult rookie year. Went 4 of 13, the Patriots did. We saw flashes from Drake May here in that game where he was scrambling around, just that play to force overtime.
Yeah, he rushed for what, 95 last year or something?
Yeah.
He almost rushed for 100 yards last year.
And he had a bonehead pick to end the game.
Exactly. And they lost the game. And last year, Drake May completed 66.6% of his passes for 2,276 yards.
New coach.
With Gerard Mayo, 15 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. Cam Ward, so far, is completing 57.6% of his passes for 1,356 yards, 4 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. So when you talk about pacing, some of those numbers seem like they're along the lines of what Drake May did last year. But this year 2 leap, he's in the MVP discussion, right?
Yeah.
Sure as hell after yesterday.
100%.
I mean, you break the completion percentage record for the New England Patriots, who had Tom Brady at quarterback for so many years, especially playing the style of quarterback that Brady plays. It's a hell of an accomplishment. And it's not completion percentages and everything, but that he was so efficient in both run and pass opportunities. It's impossible to ignore that he belongs in that conversation, but they are different players.
Sure.
Like what Brett is saying there is that Cam is some of these plays where he's holding the ball, like these long developing passing plays that they had under Brian Callahan that seemed to cut down on a little bit yesterday to try and just get the ball out, help him be more efficient. But when he is still holding the ball that way and the defense, he's giving the opportunity for the defense to sag back a little bit to create those rushing lanes. Right. But the defense then has enough time to tamp back down and get a rush on him. And he's losing critical yards there because there's so many habits that he has to break that he is up against right now, whether it is holding the ball, whether it is ball security, whether it is some of these decisions that he makes in game. Like, he is up against a lot of things, some self-inflicted, some not. It's a really tough balance, and it's really tough to kind of get a read on him right now, especially when you know they're going to hire a new coach, and that coach is going to come in here and change things. And I don't think that, and this is a discussion for much further down the road, I don't think we can rule out a conversation about if they do land on a coaching candidate that is a proven commodity, but that coach comes in here and says, I want football control and I want an open quarterback competition next year. That is absolutely on the table. Titans fans would revolt, but that's on the table.
It'd be surprising. Yeah. It's so much more likely that Cam Ward is a carrot dangling for a coaching candidate than a coaching candidate wants this job but doesn't want the quarterback.
Well, we've got a lot more results to play out before we can have that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, Cam made some unbelievable throws yesterday. Like second drive, 2 back-to-back to DK. The first one, 18 yards, and he, New England was in the zone, and I think Splain was following DK, and he fit that into an extremely tight window. So he's making some great throws, but then there's also some where, like we were talking about, like the communication on, hey man, like where do you want me to sit in the zone, right? You look at like Mahomes and Kelsey, and they're so good because Kelsey knows exactly where to go in a zone, where to sit, when to drift left, when to drift right, and Mahomes, they're just on the same page. And I think that's something that's fixable, right? Some of the things that, concern you are, you're holding on to the ball too long. I mean, you look at Justin Fields in New York. That's kind of been an issue for him for his whole career, and now here he is getting benched at halftime. And so hopefully some of those things, he can break. And like I said, even watching Drake May yesterday, and then I watched the copy this morning, he had a 16-yard run, and he dropped back. I think it was a 5-step drop back, and you could see his helmet going 1, 2, 3, gone. There was a gap right up the middle, and how you're rushing Drake May from a defensive standpoint. The games that you're calling, the twists that you're calling, you have to be much more calculated, right? Than if you're going against Cam, where hey, he's not really going to pull it and run it very often, right? So now you can start trying some different games, some different twists, knowing that you can take more chances because the quarterback's just going to sit in the pocket. So I just think to help him out, especially with holding on to the ball too long, if he could just get a couple runs just to alleviate that pressure, I think that would benefit him.
Before we let you go, Brett Kern, I have to ask you, if you were still a Denver Bronco when Tim Tebow was drafted in 2010, would you have gone up to him at some point and said, hey, man, one of your people a few years ago, came up to me and thought that I worked for a hotel.
Yeah, I probably would have on the first road trip of the preseason been like, carry my bag, rookie.
Yeah. Look at that
Here's my
revenge.
Here's my bag, TiVo.
Here's
with
my
all your
bag.
muscles carried upstairs.
Carry it up the plane. Yeah.
Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Wait. Can we keep going? Sorry, we're doing immaculate grids back here, and he's
Bryce is really good at those.
What sport? I bet Bryce is good at the soccer ones.
Bryce is in. We've played Weddle. We've played immaculate grid. He has been exceptional. So just keep talking amongst your maybe like 2 more. Can we have 2 more minutes, Dad?
Wait, are you
We're
stumped
playing.
on one
I
right
can't hear
now?
what you're saying.
Are you stumped on one at the moment?
No.
Oh, Lucas, you'd probably be really good at soccer.
I have fun with the soccer ones.
Soccer one's fun.
I'm Buck Reisig. It's 104.5 The Zone. Nobody likes an HVAC, plumbing, or electrical emergency. That's when you call Hiller. They are there to help you through that process and to make sure that you get the best possible service. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost or if it'll get fixed correctly or if someone is just trying to sell you something. When you call Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, their experts are going to solve your problems quickly. And most importantly, the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. There's no hidden fees or surprises on your bill. Hiller has been in business for over 35 years and is family owned and operated. Their techs are professional and experienced and trustworthy. When they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time. 100% satisfaction guarantee of happy you'll be or the service is free. That's the Happy Hiller promise. So book online today at happyhiller.com. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. The best hot chicken in the world. So we had some Cam Ward audio to play for you, but we can do that tomorrow. Do you have a baseball coach at Tennessee? What's going on?
TBD. So,
because in the midst of all of this nonsense on Saturday was the reports starting to trickle out from Ken Rosenthal, originally of The Athletic, who's obviously been the foremost baseball reporter, although Ken Rosenthal recently had an unpleasant moment that was caught on camera where he stepped on a camera guy and then acted like it was the camera guy's fault.
Oh, yeah, just mean mugged him.
That's terrible. It's kind of how I treat Robert.
I was literally about to say, like, that is something you would. How dare you be on the floor that I walk on?
Like he'd back into your car or something, or like rear end you.
You never park here.
Yeah.
Why didn't you honk?
But anyway, so Rosenthal reports that the San Francisco Giants are in talks to sign Tony Vitello to be their next coach, but that Tony Vitello has not made a decision on whether he wants to leave the University of Tennessee. Of course, a place where he won a national championship and a place where he has them regularly in contention. As of today, he has still not made a decision, which is crazy.
In fact, Mike Wilson of Knox News just tweeted Tony Vitello is at Lindsey Nelson Stadium for Tennessee baseball's practice and scrimmage this afternoon. He tweeted that about 20 minutes ago. So obviously, it feels like Tennessee is being given a window here to make a move.
Break something off for me, Danny.
I mean, this reminds me of when Tennessee fans were melting down because UCLA was about to come in and scoop up Rick Barnes. And then the one thing that Philip Fulmer did as Tennessee's athletics director was get Rick Barnes in a room and not allow him to leave. Right? Make him an offer he couldn't refuse, all of these things. Now here's Rick Barnes.
Godfather stuff.
After back-to-back Elite Eight trips with a literal lifetime contract for Tennessee basketball. So feels like there's an opportunity here for Danny White to do that. He's going to roll out the red carpet. He's going to give Tony everything that he asks for, I would imagine. I mean, they've got renovations going on at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Like, they're in on baseball. They're spending money on baseball. So
he's already the highest paid baseball coach in the sport.
Yeah, so I don't know what more Danny White can do, but I bet he would do it. I don't know what his limit is in that regard. This is revenue sharing, right? So you have to consider other sports too. But
the Giants are such a good organization.
And it's something that's literally never happened before. A coach to have zero pro experience be hired as a manager straight up to the big leagues out of college. Like, it's one of those things. Like, if you're Tony Vitello, how do you pass up an opportunity like that? I don't even think, no rational Tennessee fan could blame Tony for passing up that opportunity. It's literally unprecedented. But it seems like there's a window. It's been about 48 hours since that report.
Is Tony married?
No.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone, dude.
Headed to the Bay Area?
I mean, just
very famously not married.
Respectfully, he has probably gone through Knoxville's finest. I don't think, and if none of those women could tether him to the earth that is Knoxville, I don't think she lives here.
Well, I will say, Tony could go to San Francisco because James in the F&M Bank chat says he'd be dumb to leave a gravy job. MLB fires coaches every day. The minute Tony Vitello's tenure ends as an MLB manager, every single baseball program in college baseball will be climbing over each other. This is a no-lose
season.
He could tank miserably in San Francisco, and still any SEC program will be throwing mountains of money at him.
Now, they did fire Bob Melvin in San Francisco for finishing 81-81. So, and Buster Posey is the president of baseball operations there. It might be, I wonder, is it a conversation you guys would like to have at length about Tony Vitello, like with a guest? Because, I mean, this may be a finable offense, Robert. You tell me. I'll let you be the arbiter on this. But my cousin used to run CAA baseball. Jeff Barry is now retired as the head of CAA baseball, but he was the lead agent for a lot of these guys. Still works actively in baseball. I could see if Jeff is available to come on and talk about this if we wanted to have a guest. It's up to you. Maybe if he does it.
We'll see.
Or when a decision comes down. I think that's worth it. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you want, well, I suppose show's over. Or almost over. We need polls.
Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. What color shrimp should Robert Walsh buy for his brand new aquarium? Blue, red, or yellow? 42.3% say red, 39.4% say blue, only 18.3% say yellow. They say that's tired. They want something new. They want something, I don't know, something that it's not just I don't know what word I'm trying to think of, Robert. What are you looking for in your shrimp?
I'm looking for them to survive and breed. We didn't get to talk about this today.
But aesthetically?
Aesthetically, I would like them to go forth and multiply and fill the tank with their tiny shrimp bodies.
What color?
Oh, red. I'm getting red.
Red? I don't know. Blue shrimp.
They would be cool, but I would be too interested in tasting them. Like, even though they're tiny, I feel like that little of shrimp would be worth it. So I'm going to go with red. I think
you're going to eat these?
No, you don't eat them. You don't really eat them. But I mean, I would on a dare.
Why not?
I don't have headphones still. I think Brett Kern stole them. I'm sorry.
Did Brett walk out of here with your headphones?
I don't have them anymore, but it's okay. We're almost done. I don't need them. Just don't talk to me or ask me anything else or need anything from me.
Oh, what is one word to describe Cam Ward's performance on Sunday? Let's see. Ace says rookie. John says better. The ball slipping out of his hands, throws behind guys, still needs to be fixed, but he did have some of his best numbers in other categories. Native Nash says uneven.
I like uneven.
Yeah, uneven is good. I'd say sporadic. The good, really good. The bad, pretty bad. And that's kind of been the case this season, right? It feels like he's just kind of here. He'll throw a strike downfield to Elikayomanu or Chimere Dike. There, he'll miss an open guy over the middle.
Is it too harsh if I say disappointing? Because he did enough for a half, and then he was inaccurate and was intercepted and lost a fumble of his own volition, or it wasn't forced that was recovered for a touchdown. Am I allowed to say disappointing?
It feels harsh, but again, it's just what expectation do you place on a rookie quarterback? Like, what baseline is that, especially a quarterback in a bad situation?
All right. I guess my expectation is that he is a starting quarterback, understanding that he is also a rookie quarterback. And in the same way that I think it's fair to hold J.C. Latham. It's fair to be critical of J.C. Latham if he's out on the field to perform. Cam Ward is one of 32 starting quarterbacks, rookie or not. I'd like to see him finish a game. He has yet to do so.
Who has a better shot to make the college football playoff? Vols or Vandy? 71% vote Vandy. There is a very real scenario where that game in Neyland Stadium in the last week of the regular season is a win and in game for the college football playoff, which it was last year, but for Tennessee, it could be for both. And that's insane to say.
You scared?
Oh, yeah.
BVS that week is going to be crazy. That's the show. Mike McCoy is going to speak at 1:30. I assume Blaine and Zach will carry the press conference there. Primetime tonight at 6-ish.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.